Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the B-Leaguers podcast brought to you by the Koyo Store. Head to thekoyostore.com/B-Leaguers and pick up all your officially licensed Ubisoft paraphernalia. Use code B-Leaguers at checkout there for a 5% discount. Kicks back to you, kicks back to us. Everybody's happy. You get some cool shit. Welcome back. It's the week after the first super week of everything coming back. We had Pro League start back up. We had Challenger League start up. We had national programs coming to a close and starting back up. We had everything that you could possibly fucking imagine in Siege coming either to a penultimate close or opening brand wide open. So we've got a lot to talk about this week. We also have a deep fucking Q&A to go through today. So it's going to be a longer episode. If you're listening to the onset of this and you haven't checked how long it is, prepare for at least 2 hours, if not longer. There is a lot of fucking shit to go over with everything that's been going on in the last week of Siege, which is a good thing because typically, you know, especially in the off seasons, heading up to majors and coming back from majors and stuff, we don't have a lot to talk about. There's no new Siege happening. But we're finally at the point now where everything has broken the fuck wide open. So, welcome back, Sam. How are you doing in your little man cave?
I'm doing fantastic, man. The man cave's done. I got to get shelves up on the wall, you know, get some stuff to make it look pretty before I show it completely off, you know. Also, I really need to do some wire management as well. That's really what needs to get done with the room. But I'm good, man. Been able to watch a little bit of Siege. Been watching a lot of football, just trying to spend as much time with my family as possible before I have to go back to Poland and, you know, do the regular of the castings for the esports. So
that's good. That's good. Poland sucks. I don't.
It does indeed.
I don't feel for you going back there. We also have some interesting news that I'm sure everyone's heard about, which is Parker is not going back to Poland for the rest of the season. He's got some medical issues, and he'll be staying home in Toronto for the rest of the online season for Season 10. Hopes are looking good that he'll make it to Japan, but of course, our friend, our mentor, our abusive spouse, Parker, we hope you get well, bud. You stupid little fuck ass. God damn it. How dare you get sick?
Yeah, how dare you fucking get sick? God fucking bless.
Stupid little idiot getting sick. Imagine being sick. Couldn't be me, man. Couldn't fucking be me. What a weak little bitch.
We love you, though. We hope you get better soon. And, you know, it's a good thing that you're worried about your health because we all know it was on a little bit of a slippery slope there for a minute that you wanted to obviously go. We all know that you love your job so much. But you need to be more cognizant of yourself. Make sure you get your health in order before you go back out on the field and try and do, you know, 13-hour days of casting at LANs and shit. So,
yeah, those are always fun. So we have a lot to talk about, and I guess we should just start with Pro League. Start with the.
We also have some other news. We almost forgot about.
Just
for 1 second.
Forgot about news. What news?
Almost forgot about the other thing. We finally did it because you guys bitched at us enough. So I went and did it because Flynn was like, "Fuck you, you can do it." I went and made us a Patreon. So it's patreon.com/B-Leaguers. It's on the Twitter. If you guys want to do that, you can. You absolutely do not have to. We'll just give you guys shout outs on the podcast. If we come up with like other content or something, like exclusive content, I guess we'll throw another tier on there. But that's all we have for right now. It's $5 a month if you guys want to do that. But again, you don't have to do it at all. We just do this for fun because making podcasts is fun, and watching people blow up on the subreddits about how we said something is kind of hilarious, but at the same time annoying. Yeah, it's funny at the end of the day. We're both good sports about it, so it's whatever. But we finally did it. The Patreon's made. If you want to go do that thing, you can go do that thing.
Listen to us while we fucking sell out. Give us your fucking money.
You smell that? Oh.
I hate you so fucking much.
XLR baby.
Yeah. So I guess we can start things off in our home region of North America, which is weird, to say the least. So we got to start off with the obvious news, which was that Slebin and Gomfy were denied access to playing in Pro League until they acquire 6-month visas or whatever. It's in the rule book. So I don't really know how to touch this one because ESL obviously employs the both of us, so we're obliged to stay on the side of ESL. I like my money.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I have to stop for you for 2 seconds because I think that this is gonna get fixed here in a matter of moments. But right now, the CGG website is bugged, and it has the CL teams mixed in with the Pro League teams.
Yo, I have to go see this right now.
So you want to feel good about yourself for 2 seconds?
Yo, Pat, hit me with it.
Shrug is higher than the Sonics.
In what ranking?
Yes.
Oh no.
So for the Pro League standings for North America, it goes Dark Zero, Evil Geniuses, Luminosity, Space Station Gaming, Team Reciprocity, Rogue, Obey Alliance, Team Solo Mid, Two-Faced, Adventure Force, Shrug, Sonics, Rise Nation, Akatsuki, Disrupt, Parallax.
Yo, go us. Go us, dude.
Congrats, Flynn.
Nailed it.
Better than a Pro League team, dude. Easy.
Better than a Pro League team after
All right,
only
anyways,
2
continue.
games. So yeah, the Sonics, mentioning them anyway, they are without Slebin and Gomfy until an undisclosed future date.
Further notice.
Yeah, they're dead right now. Slebin and Gomfy are in a closet somewhere, I guess, just being held back from being able to play. That sucks for the Sonics because they look good at DreamHack. They also looked good heading into the beginning of this second split of the season. You know, there was a lot more optimism surrounding the team, but unfortunately for them, yeah, that's a thing that happened. So the Sonics are reusing Avian and Ghost. They dropped them from the roster, and now we got a trackpad gunner and a guy at a fucking internet cafe.
Yep.
You want to know the funniest thing? So I'm in Montreal right now for the Canadian Nationals, and Avian was here in Montreal for a pro workshop. So he was right down the road from me, fucking using an internet cafe that I could walk to right now to play his fucking Pro League game. Because he doesn't have, obviously, a computer here in the hotel or Airbnb, wherever he was staying at for the week while I was here for the pro workshop. So that's fun. It's a fun little anecdote, I guess. He wasn't off in the United States where he's usually from.
Yeah, and for a team perspective, it's also extremely difficult because they signed both of these guys to 2-year contracts. That's public knowledge now. Sonics released that, and they can't play. So they're literally paying 2 people to twiddle their thumbs while Avian and Ghost have to come back all the way to Pennsylvania to play until further notice. So now not only are you paying 5 people, but now you're paying 7 instead. So you have 2 people on top of that because obviously to play in Pro League, they have to make a certain amount. Thank you to Ubisoft for making sure that everyone was covered for playing, so no one's playing for free and stuff like that. But when you're in Pro League, you have to get paid enough to sustain life. That's what it is. I remember the ruling correctly, right, Flynn?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember this off the top of my head. Okay. So now they're paying 7 people instead of 5. And that just makes it all the more difficult for the organization because now you have 2 people that literally cannot touch an M&K until you get them cleared through customs and get them the proper visas in order to have them play on the roster by Ubisoft, or excuse me, by ESL ruling.
It's a tough situation for them, but it is in the rules. I guess there was some kind of delays with getting information, but I mean, if you don't have the visas in time, you don't have the visas in time. I don't know. It's tough on both sides, honestly. Tough on ESL to have to look like the bad guys once again to say, hey, go fuck yourselves. But it's also tough on the Sonic side. Like you said, they're paying 7 people. They had to get emergency recalls for Ghost and Avian. And I think, honestly, the worst part about it was the fact that they didn't tell the Sonics until game day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's kind of the worst part. That's the part at which I go, okay, maybe you could have handled this better. Like, everything else, it's in the rules. They didn't have the proper documents, yada, yada, yada. But, like, not telling them until fucking game day, that's kind of where I go, okay, maybe there should have been some better communication going on here. But that's how that went. They obviously have lost both their games. It's not really surprising, given that they were on track to not win another game for the rest of the season with the old roster, and they've had to play some, or they didn't even lose both games. They tied against DSM. My bad. No, that's LG. I'm stupid. They lost 7-1 to Dark Zero and 7-3 to LG. Never mind. But they had to play 2 tougher teams in LG and in the Sonics. And one thing about Luminosity that we never got to, even though it was the worst kept secret in Siege for a while there, was that Factor was going to Luminosity in replace of Pixel. So now that's official, and we can talk about that. And I think factors look pretty good on LG. I don't know if it's enough to pull them out of a hole, but I mean, you tie against TSM, you win against the Sonics. Those are, judging by the standings, you got the two easiest matchups to start the season, to start the back half of the season. So now for this week, you got to play Dark Zero and then SSG. I don't have a whole lot of faith in them being able to take down either of those teams, even with Factor. So maybe a little bit of a what's it called? It's a dead cat bounce, I think is what they call it. It's like when you're in a coma or you're about to die, and then like your heart, because of all the adrenaline and stuff, it pumps like violently one last time.
Dead cat bounce, a temporary recovery in share prices after a substantial fall caused by
it's a stock thing. It's not even a health thing.
To cover their positions.
Never mind. Okay, so yes, the dead cat bounce from the stocks. My apologies. Thank you for fucking fact checking me. So it's not another goddamn garbage time situation.
I got you. Google's a powerful thing.
Google is a powerful thing. Regardless, you understand what the fuck I'm talking about. It seems like a last second lurch to hold on to the standings and get some extra points to possibly stay out of relegation.
They're not really in danger of relegation, though, to be completely honest. They're third in the standings right now in Pro League. Obviously, SSG wasn't as powerful as they were prior to having Shala, prior to having Canadian and having Shala on the roster. So with that being said, Luminosity, I think the main things for me with that roster is who's going to step up, who's going to be the leader, because a lot of these high-end teams that we're seeing coming out of NA right now already have that on their roster. I mean, TSM just picked up a powerhouse support unit for their team. They're looking a lot better online than they were. They looked fantastic on LAN. Evil Geniuses now has really all that they need in order to pull out what has been needed. They needed another young gunner on the stack in the likes of Mo, that they're looking a lot stronger with that roster. But for Luminosity, who's going to step up and fill that hole? You know what I mean? Because it's a young team. They don't have anybody that's been a veteran pro, nothing along those lines. It's all young gunners that you and I have both played against inside of competitive, So I want to see who's going to develop into that role. It might be Rexon. It really might be him. Or it might be one of those instances where he's more of a hyper, where, hey, I'm just the quieter guy. I just kill everyone, So I want to see that finally, have the roster have an evolution period to where it finally reaches that point. But I don't feel like we're there just yet. TSM's still coming into their own. They're still trying to get things figured out with that roster. They have a fantastic head coach now, great support unit, as we just said. I just want to see Luminosity finally hit their stride of having everything that they need in order to be successful.
Yeah, I mean, for LG, they're in a good spot to stay out of relegations. Like they did their due diligence in these first two games here, getting 4 out of a possible 6 points, and they did decent in the first split, at least for the first few games when no one really knew anything about them. But as more VODs came out and the identity of the team became Rexon kills everyone, and if you can kill Rexon, then you win the round, that kind of hurt them a bit. So they're really banking on other teams kind of slowing down and then being able to chip away a few points as the season concludes. But I don't think we're going to be seeing LG in a LAN race. I don't think we're going to be seeing them in last place. I think it's going to be they're going to finish like 5, 6, 7 area, and that is all dependent on other teams around them. I don't think there's much more of a ceiling for LG to hit, honestly. I think they're kind of locked where they are right now, and they'll look to next season to maybe make some changes. But for right now, they look a little fucked. Try to find a more elegant term to put that.
Lack of a better term, they are fucked.
They look a little fucked. So LG's worrisome. EG though, like you said, holy fuck, do they look good with Mo?
Mo is a fucking monster. If anyone had any doubt in their mind that kid was good at the video game, my God, man, he has been able to really light up the scoreboard quite handedly, I might say, with barely being with the roster. So I think that once they get him fully integrated, things are going to be on the up and up for Evil Geniuses. I feel like it was a proper move for both teams, actually, in that exchange with Space Station Gaming and Evil Geniuses. Canadian leaving, going to Space Station Gaming. And actually, funny enough, I was just talking to Flynn about this before the podcast. I watched the Canadian documentary last night, and it really brought back a lot of nostalgia of how far that roster had come. All the way from Continuum all the way down to him being on Bibbidi Boobop, and then that roster just growing and growing and growing, finally to this monstrosity that Evil Geniuses was, just the powerhouse of NA, but always just being a second coming to Penta, then G2, and then just not being able to make it past quarters. If you guys have not seen it, you should definitely go watch it, especially for long-standing Siege fans that have been following the esport for a very, very long time. It's really, really weird to watch the amount of things that this game has went through and players long-standing like Canadian have went through. It's something truly incredible. So for Evil Geniuses, I feel like Mo was the proper fit. They needed someone else there to add more of a flowing dynamic to the roster. For Space Station Gaming, they needed someone to step up and be that shot calling IGL that doesn't give a fuck, can change things up on a dime, and that's exactly what Troy is. Even inside of that documentary, I want to say it was it? Oh, I know who it was. It was Zoronic. It was Alex. Zoronic said, if you show the same strat twice, Canadians already got an idea of what you're doing and you're going to lose that next round. They needed someone like that, and that's exactly what he provides. So with SSG, I feel like he's going to be able to get back into the groove of things, maybe even find more of a stride for himself inside of IGLing and playing. But I really do feel like this was the best of both worlds for both of these teams.
Yeah, I think SSG still sorting their shit out, but they had a couple, I don't know. They had an easier game against Rogue. Rogue right now, I don't even know how the fuck to peg. Like, they look like they're a team that should still be doing well. They
look lost.
Yeah, they don't have a whole lot of momentum behind them right now, and it seems like a little bit of last season as well. They have one win, by the way. They have 5 draws of the new SSG. But they have one win. Like, those draws are the only thing keeping them afloat. And if they don't turn it around too, we might be talking about Rogue in a relegation spot. Now, do I think any team in North American Challenger League right now, including ourselves, could beat Rogue in a best-of-3 for a relegation game? Fuck no. Fuck no. I think Rogue is going to dumpster anyone they play in a relegation game should they get to that point. But, I mean, it's worrisome. For the team that was consistently number 2 in North America season after season after season after season, only behind EG for years of this game, to start falling off like this, it's weird, and it's troublesome for me. And it's also weird how the storyline is different between teams. So TSM is a team that has the storyline.
I'm gonna grab my food real quick, so keep talking.
All right. TSM is a team that has this like storyline built around them right now, which I completely agree with and may have perpetuated the narrative a little bit myself. In that they suck in best of ones, but they're good on LAN in best of threes, and that's fine. You know, it's fine to suck for TSM in best of ones, but then on the flip side, I catch myself saying, you know, Rogue is bad in BO1s, and therefore that's bad. And I think the real saving grace for TSM is that they're so young, is that they're so new, so that the storyline kind of, like, there's more optimism behind the TSM roster than there is behind the Rogue roster right now. Like, Rogue isn't new. Rogue isn't young. Rogue doesn't have a whole lot of fresh faces to the team or in general to the scene. I mean, these guys have been around for a very, very long time. And it kind of feels like Rogue is plateauing a little bit at a point that they really don't want to be. You really don't want to be plateauing right now with the changes coming up in North America. And they have 2 hard games this week against Reciprocity and Evil Geniuses. So, I mean, that's a tough road for Rogue. You lose both of those games, and TSM picks up a win, and suddenly you're in a relegation spot. Like, that's all it takes. Like, TSM could go 1-0-1, so they win a game, then they lose a game. And it's kind of over. Like, you're in a relegation spot from there, and you still only got 1 win. I don't know. I think the middle section of North America right now is the most intriguing to me. I think from LG to Rogue there are so many fucking question marks right now in North America between those 4 teams. It's LG, SSG, Rec, and Rogue, in that order. I think there's so many fucking question marks with those teams right now that I don't know who's going to start finishing out stronger and who's going to start finishing out with some losses in the column. I said last week that I thought, you know, Reciprocity was probably one of my teams that would make LAN. I thought they'd turn things around coming out of DreamHack and coming out of not being in Raleigh, and then all of a sudden it's wait, did I just fuck up again? Was Reciprocity in Raleigh? Let me go check just to be sure. I don't think they were. No, they weren't, because they're in the online quals and SSG got the fucking spot. Yeah, Rec wasn't. Okay, I'm good. I just had to remember things for a second. But yeah, Reciprocity I thought we'd be doing a lot better coming into the break. And 7-5 against EG. Not bad. Still a loss, but not bad. And then 7-3 lost to SSG last week. That kind of hurts. Because that's a team you want to try and leapfrog in the standings. They're right above you right now. And SSG was actually the team to leapfrog them with that win, so... I don't know. If SSG can figure their shit out, I think they'll be challenging for a LAN spot. And then LG, I still don't think they're going to be doing all that well. I think they're going to be falling off down the standings as teams below them get a little bit better. TSM should be able to climb the standings a little bit. Rogue, I don't know what to say there. Rec, I thought would be doing a lot better. Like, there's teams lower in the standings that I thought would be doing a lot hotter, and they should be, at least based on like what we know of the teams and how they do in other events and in Pro League in general. I mean, Reciprocity was in the LAN mix, in the first, second place mix for basically all of Season 9, especially heading into SI, when I very distinctly said that they had no chance of doing anything. Look how wrong I was, smile. And then for the Sonics, I don't think there's a whole lot of hope again, unfortunately. And the only team we haven't touched on so far is Dark Zero, and Dark Zero is just going to keep Dark Zeroing, because that's kind of what they do. And they have 2 easier games this week against LG and TSM, as we hear Sam, I don't know, break his shin cap on a door as he walks back into his room. You can hear him sigh as he gets to the microphone. Did he put his headphones on? Ah, there we go. Welcome back. Fuck your sweet tea. Fuck your goddamn chicken wings.
Fuck my sweet tea.
Yeah, what'd you get?
I got chicken wings. What do you mean?
Yeah, you just slurped something.
I don't slurp anything.
Oh, I thought you slurped something.
Mm-mm.
Fuck your chicken wings. Stupid idiot.
Fuck you, bitch.
So yeah, I think I've covered basically everything in North America. I don't think Dark Zero is slowing down. I think Dark Zero is going to be in Japan, and then I don't know.
The issue is
I guess the second
are they
one
going to
is
be able to do something on LAN? You know?
Yeah, that's always the question, and I don't know how much faith I have in them to be able to.
I told you they were going to fix it. They finally fixed it. I went and checked the Pro League standings again. Not the same way. So that's why I'm really happy I told you right then.
There we go. So I was above the Sonics for 1 second. Nailed it. Yeah, it's weird. NA is really weird. I thought NA was going to be a lot more top heavy this season, but it's turning out to be very, very mediocre, just all around the board. A lot of teams falling off and not really performing in the online season and best of ones, and that's weird. It's very, very weird. Okay, that's NA.
So, on to EU, I guess, right?
On to EU.
All right. Well, let's get it, shall you? Want to go bottom up?
Bottom up in the standings? Yeah, sure. All right.
We'll start off with Sisu.
Sisu, I think, have looked a lot better. Yanatir and Movitao have looked actually fucking good. like scarily good in comparison to what I thought they would be coming in. I had never heard of Movitao before, but I had played against Yanatir a couple times, just like in ranked and shit. Dude was a gunner. I just didn't know like how good he would be, honestly. But yeah, Yanatir and Movitao have actually looked fucking dirty with the rest of the team, and a couple 7-5 losses for them this week against the Giants and then against Navi. Those are not bad losses to have. I mean, those looked like those were really fucking fun games to watch. Honestly, I don't know if there's enough firepower to get them out of a relegation spot. The good news for them, though, they're only 6 points out of a relegation spot. So you need to have a good week. Their games upcoming this week are against Empire and G2. So,
good luck, have fun.
Good luck, have fun. Yeah, basically. Good fucking luck with that, I guess. Jesus. I feel really bad for them just because, like, they are such an OG team, and they looked so good in their 2 games that they've played so far with this new roster. And I don't know, it's really unfortunate given the Sonic situation that Sleben and Gomfy can't even play. It kind of feels like if Sleben and Gomfy had just stayed put, and maybe things could sort themselves out, but I don't know. I think Yanatir and Movitao have come in and done their jobs quite well. My big concern is, you got to play Empire, you got to play G2. Then you play Penta, and then you play Chaos, and then to round out the season, you play Vitality. So, I mean, like, there's a little bit of, like, hope. There's a ray of sunshine at the end of this fucking black tunnel that Sisu are trudging through right now. Like, there's a little bit of hope at the end, but you got to get through Empire and G2 and not want to slit your throats after it. So, I don't know. Good news is there's no auto relegation. The bad news is EU Challenger League has like 5 teams that could probably beat them in a best of 3 in a relegation game. So, I don't know how much faith I have in seeing Sisu next season for season 11 of Pro League.
Yeah. Well, actually, fun fact while you're on that,
Sure.
for the team rankings of CSGG, everyone likes to make those jokes. Actually, in the top 10, two EUCL teams from the top 10 in the world right now for team ranking. It's Team Secret and Force.
Yeah. Because they did well at the major.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of what happens when you go to the semifinals of a major.
Yeah.
You're kind of good at the game. Yeah.
Kind of good at the game.
Kind of good at the game.
Who's that Feral guy, dude? Never heard of him.
Never heard of him. He's a fucking crouch walking Twitch man. I don't respect those. You can't play Smoke and Hard Breach, then you're not a real player to me.
Yeah, but if he has to join your team, you're dropping Cloud fast as fuck.
Oh hell yeah! Oh yeah, dude, I don't need a reason to drop Cloud at this point. I just need to drop him. Get rid of him. Get rid of his whiny ass.
Fuck that Cloud guy.
Yep.
Remember what his bio said? Best Mira on Xbox. Oh my god.
Don't remind me. He's still got the fucking Go 4 wins in there.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's embarrassing, man. He's an embarrassing little toolbox. Next up on the list is Penta. You and I have different views of Penta right now. I still think they look like trash. You said you thought they were like getting better, and I'm like,
they're getting better. I think benching Sir Boss was the proper move. I think it's brought some life back to the roster. I'm not saying that they went from dead ditch all the way to like Olympian. That's not what I'm saying. You know what I mean? What I'm saying is that they went from dead ditch to at least hitchhiking on the highway.
That's fair.
That's what I'm trying to say. I think that's a fair description.
I think honestly, their 2 games that they played were against the top 2 teams in EU, and the scoreline will say, "Holy shit, they tied Empire and only lost 7-5 to the Giants." Oh my god. Yeah, I'll get to them in a second. I think those games are deceiving. For a couple different reasons.
All right, let's hear it, because obviously, as I said earlier before this, I didn't watch any of them. So.
Okay. I think so for both of those top teams right now, the Giants and Empire. I think Empire at this point is just kind of exhausted after the last 9 months. I don't think like they're getting complacent, but I don't think they're really putting everything out there right now. They know if they just try and play their best as like individuals right now, they should still come away with a win. I know this feels like a secular fucking conversation with, or cyclical conversation that we had just 9 months ago about G2 and them falling off and saving strats and shit. But I think Empire right now just honestly doesn't give a fuck. They're quite content with beating G2, with winning Raleigh, with winning Milan. They obviously want to win Japan. There's no doubt about that. But I think they're kind of taking these extra couple of weeks out of the break and going, let's just chill. Let's just chill. It's been a hard 9 months. Let's just calm the fuck down. So I think
we've been running for a while. So why don't we walk for a little bit?
Exactly. They still like. They looked okay in the game against Penta. In the game against G2, however, that was a weird game for Empire. They looked like they, again, just kind of didn't really give much of a shit. And then for the Giants as well, 7-5 win against Sisu and a 7-5 win against Penta. I think they're trying to make changes coming out of losing in groups in Raleigh. And I don't know if the changes have fully set in yet. I think what they're really looking for is a change in play style that helps protect some of their fraggers. So they don't have as much of this crazy entry style that they had in the beginning. You know, when Corey starts going off, yeah, you know, that's that's a fun time. But I think what they're trying to do is kind of insulate Corey and Aces a little bit more and allow some of the flex players, like Alfama, who's typically their breacher, but I mean, he's been going back and forth between like breach and flex with Hicks, so they keep going back and forth on what the fuck they want to do, and they're trying to insulate Aces and Corey a little bit more and kind of just keep them alive until the later portions of the round, and sometimes that stalls them out. So for the Giants, I think they're tweaking, and for Empire, I think they don't really give a fuck. So for the Penta results, I guess I'll agree with you, they look better than they did, but I don't think they're getting out of a relegation spot. I think, honestly, my two teams to get relegated at this point from EU would be Penta and Chaos.
Really? You think Chaos is going to fall that far? You think CC's finally going to jump back?
Chaos have looked so fucking bad recently. Like, I don't know what's going on with them, but holy shit, do they look like they're just not the same team.
It's weird, because it's like literally you back up 4 months, and this roster looks just electric.
Yeah, and I think, I don't want to lay it all at the feet of one person like Crips or one person like Secretly, but those two specifically, they don't look like they're zoned in right now. They look like they're fucking distracted, or they're having a bad time. I don't know what's going on with them, but they look like they just are not themselves. And that's scary because the rest of the roster kind of relies on those two to be having some fun. And when they don't have fun, that kind of leaves it up to Vito. I mean, Renewals can have, like, Renewals has his moments.
He's more of a LAN guy, to be completely honest.
Yeah, and he's also more of a clutch guy, but if you give a clutch guy 95 clutches, like, it doesn't matter who he is, he's probably not coming away with a whole lot of wins. Like, that puts a lot of fucking pressure on Vito to overperform versus when you have the trio of Secretly, Crips and Vito, like, all kind of doing their part. I don't know, man. They have just looked tragic. They look tragic in Montreal. That game against Reciprocity that we casted on the first day of DreamHack, that looked fucking rough for Chaos. That was not the same. Like, I don't think I said Crips' name more than, like, twice in 3 maps. Like, that was just...
Wow.
Yeah, that dude was non-existent, and it's kind of continuing over here. I mean, the game against G2 obviously looked better, and Chaos, like, they are notoriously better on attack than they were on defense. So they started on defense, and I'm pretty sure G2 went up 4-2 starting on the attack at the half for Club. So they're a lot better on attack. They just put themselves in such a fucking hole on Club that you have to be better at attacking Club than G2 is defending it. And I mean, it's
Good
G2,
luck.
it's defense on Club. I mean... Let's calm the fuck down here. They're probably gonna win a lot of those. And then obviously for the game against Vitality, I don't know, man. It was a game of like who could frag the least. Because like you said earlier on, actually I don't know if it was recorded or not, if we just talked about it like before the podcast started, but like Vitality right now, Stiggy is not playing the way he has been for the last couple months. Bibu as well is kind of in more of like a flex spot right now. And it's weird, I guess. I don't know. I'm used to seeing Bibu on Ashe just run around with his head cut off and fucking murk people, but now he's kind of a little bit more toned down, and it seems like Vitality of old as well. Those last 20-second pushes, the last 30-second pushes, and the game against Chaos was just a horrible game to watch. It was a horrible fucking game to watch because they were both doing it. They were both doing Vitality pushes. And yes, it's a cafe, obviously, a very defensive-sided map, so it lends itself to that. But, like, there were no, like, opening engagements. There was no one taking a chance and getting aggressive toward, like, a window play. No one making any kind of, like, rotations or roaming even. Like, everyone was just like... We 5 are going to sit on site, and the other 5 are going to sit around this site until there's 20 seconds left and everyone panics, and then it's just a 5v5 with 20 seconds left to see who can fuck up the most. And that
you
was
guys like
12
death matches?
rounds. It was fucking 12 rounds of that shit, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like, oh, here they go again. Like, I could go and fucking, like, play Chell or something, or go play a game of Ranked, and I could probably line up the rounds so that my round would end just as their round was like actually doing something with the last 20 seconds and just repeat the process over and over and over again. Because the first 2 minutes and 40 seconds of every round were pointless. They just didn't do anything on either side. So, like, Chaos right now, that's a yikes. I don't know. Yeah. Again, if they get their mojo back, I don't see. I mean, there's a couple teams in the UCL that could probably beat them in a best of 3, even on their best day. Oh, I don't know. It's scary because in NA right now, if you're in a relegation spot, you feel pretty confident in keeping your Pro League spot. In EU,
Struck's not gonna do shit.
Probably not. And if you're in EU, that's not a thing. You don't like if you're in EU, you're probably getting relegated. Like, let's be honest. Like Secret, Fours, BDS, like that's a 3-headed monster right now that I don't think anyone right now in the bottom tier of Pro League could keep up with.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I know quite a few people that are very, very worried about BDS right now, as well as just a lot of people inside of the EUCL, because it's a fucking scary sight. I mean, you look down, you're like, holy fucking shit. Like, this isn't just, oh, hey, you know, we might have like one rough map, we just ban that away and then we're good. It's like, okay, we're going to be either playing BDS, Team Secret, or Force. And of those 3, I'm the most scared of Team Secret, to be completely honest. Like, and here's my reasoning behind that. BDS bumped into somebody at DreamHack that played BDS better than BDS plays BDS. BDS leans a lot on Shaiko as well as Panics to get a lot of their work done, and then they just have their backbone for support if it really does get down to that. And that's the backbone isn't that strong. Like, they have some, you know, like niche things with Clash and what have you, but they bump into TSM. TSM demolishes BDS because they have a very close playstyle to each other. And TSM, especially with the support of Poge as well as Jarvis, they're just a better overall team. And that's no knocking at Shaiko or Panics, but they can't do all the work. Whereas TSM has 3 ridiculous fraggers on their roster. And then you throw in the support of Jarvis matched with Pojo, who have been supporting with each other for God knows how long. Then you go, okay, BDS has to beat Fours, which is completely doable. We saw Fours finally meet up against someone in Raleigh that was a better team, and they mopped the floor with them. G2 literally just said, hey, everyone's playing like dog shit against Fours. We'll show you that they're not as good as you think they are. And that's exactly what they did. And then you have Team Secret, who have been there, done that all the way back from IDK, and they continue to surprise with Feral. And it's not a fluke. It's definitely happening. And I think that Team Secret is getting back into Pro League. I don't think that BDS and Forest have what it takes to get around that roster.
I wouldn't be shocked if Secret comes out on top. And I think you're right when you talk about what G2 said about Force and Raleigh. I mean, Jesus, even FaZe looked bad against them, and Dark Zero looked awful against them. Like, it seemed like Raleigh was a condition of who could play the most brazen siege of all time and win. Like, Force was just doing some dumbass shit in the groups, and it was working.
There was some insane God, is it Pasha? Is that the gentleman's name?
Pasha, yeah.
I'm trying to yeah. Pasha was pulling some just fucking psychotic buck shit out of his ass. That I was just like, what is happening? You know what I mean?
Pasha was insane.
Like it was just it was crazy. But again, that shows you the power of how good Buck is as an operator, especially with someone that's good with soft destruction and lineups with angles and stuff like that on maps. His clubhouse plays insane, but you take him away from that, he's still very good, but he's not nearly as good as he is on Clubhouse. There was some crazy shit that he was doing on Clubhouse. It was like, this dude is literally a psychopath. Like,
yeah, and for like the bottom tier teams right now in EUCL or EU Challengers, Jesus Christ, why did I say Challenge League twice? EU Pro League, fuck. I mean, it's Sisu, Penta, Chaos. Those are the 3 that are going to be battling for relegations, because you look at the standings right now, 22 points for the Giants, and then all the way down to 5th, 16 points for G2. And then it falls off to 7. Bro, like, that's a 3-way battle for who doesn't get relegated, basically. And I think right now, Sisu is honestly my best contender, even though they only have 1 fucking point right now. The way Sisu looked in their games impressed me a hell of a lot more than the way that Chaos and Penta have looked lately. I think Sisu pulls ahead of it. They get 6, Penta 8, Chaos 7. They're both gone next season. It's early to say it, but like I think they're both gone, and I think Sisu claws out of it. And that might be a hot take for some of you, but like, holy fuck. I like the way that Sisu were playing. I think they look good.
Oh, was that your full thought?
I have my full thought. I don't have anything more to
I
add
thought
to
your
that.
brain just like snapped in half for a second. I was waiting. So.
No, I had nothing else to add to that. I think Sisu pulls it out. Moving up the list from there is
I was
G2.
gonna say we went off kilter there for quite a while.
We went on our little tangent. G2.
Yeah. Failure right now. I really think that they need to go back to the drawing board, start from the ground up, and just I don't know what Shas needs to do. Obviously, like he's been doing this a lot longer than I have, but the roster comparative to when they had Jonas on there looks completely different inside of competitiveness, especially now. It feels like Raleigh really broke this roster, like mentality wise, because when they went into DreamHack, specifically up against BDS, they just did not know how to deal with Shaiko. It was like they had never played against like Notice Siri or Empire or anybody that has those all-star fraggers that will just fucking rock you off any angle that you try and hold. It just seemed like they weren't there. And I'm the one who casted the damn thing. Like there's a clip of Ranger and I casting over Bank in this matchup. You guys have probably seen it. Shaiko goes up main stairs, rotates over to stock, kills Pengu when he peeks square, then flicks to the left and kills Fabian at the top of grand stairs right by the elevators, just while he's holding the pixel, and just snaps this dude's head off immediately. And I'm just like, holy fucking shit! Like, how did he do that? But still, G2 is a team that used to be, no matter what kind of play style you had, all-star fraggers, super lenient on support. We're just all, strat heavy. Didn't matter what you brought to the table. G2 was just like, yep, we know how to counter that. It's over. Doesn't matter. Like, we're winning relegation. There's no OT needed. Fuck you in your face. Doesn't matter. And G2 just has not been able to, show that exact same play past Raleigh. I mean, even up against Empire, we saw Joystick just come alive, dude. Joystick and Shepard were just fucking electric, especially Shepard on Coastline. That man is the epitome of a hard support, and I love it because people need to respect their supports more.
Ready for a counter argument?
Go for it.
You want to hear my crazy hot take?
Oh shit! Is this where we're going on the subreddit?
Yeah, this is probably going on the subreddit. You ready for this?
All right, let's get it. Yep.
G2's going to Japan. Yeah, I'm gonna let you leave that one there to sink in.
Okay.
So we
talk sports all the time, so I'm here for it. Let's get it. Let's go. Let me hear this shit. Let me hear this shit. I'm pouring up my gamer subs in my fucking water bottle right now. Let's get this.
G2 now holds the tie break over Empire. They tied 6-6 in the first split, and they beat them 7-3.
So you think they're gonna knock Empire out of Japan?
The way Empire have been playing. And you want to hear the rest of schedule? G2 plays Vitality, who've been off, tomorrow. They play Sisu on Wednesday. Then they play Navi. That's probably their hardest game.
Okay.
Then they round it out with the Giants. That'll be a tougher game. But then their last game of the season is Penta.
Okay. All right. So you keep that up. Give me 2 seconds here. It's loading.
I'm counting 3 to 4 wins in there. 3 wins easy, maybe 4.
All right. So let's get the points up. So get your Excel sheet up. Tell me when you're ready. All right.
Good.
All right. So you already got what points are going to go down for G2. So what's their points going to be if it goes along what you think?
It'll be an extra 9 points. They're at 16 right now, so that'll put them at 25.
All right. So let's do this. Team Empire plays Sisu.
That's
Team
3.
Empire wins. Team Empire plays Team Vitality.
That's a good question. I don't actually know.
I'm saying that's questionable. That is questionable. So we'll leave that up in the air.
Yep.
Team Empire plays Chaos. That's 3.
That's a win.
Team Empire plays Notice Siri. I say Navi wins that.
I'm saying Navi takes that, brother.
I'm saying Navi takes that.
Yeah.
100%. And then they play Vodafone Giants. I'm saying Vodafone wins.
The way Empire's been playing the last couple of games,
that's what I'm saying.
I'm kind of going Giants in that one.
Or here, let's just get in the headspace of Team Empire. So C2's an easy victory, as we said.
Yep.
Up against Vitality, they're still not in panic mode yet.
Yep.
So we'll say that might happen where Vitality wins that. Okay.
Mhm.
Chaos, that's a walk. They win that. Na'Vi beats Team Empire. Then Team Empire beats Vodafone Giants because they feel the pressure and they actually like step back up to the plate and go, hey, we actually know how to play this video game.
Yeah, but
So what
the
are we at?
Giants as well.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no, I'm completely there with you, but I'm saying it's going to be close. We'll count that as a tie. Fuck it. We'll count that as a tie.
All
We'll
right.
count Vodafone and Empire as a tie. So what are we at?
All right. So if Empire beats Sisu, that's 3. If they beat Vitality, that is 6. If they beat Chaos, that's 9. They lose to Na'Vi, that's still 9, and they tie, that's 10. So G2 would have to either get a tie against the Giants or Na'Vi. Those are my question marks for G2. And if you're telling me G2 can't get a tie and then lose to one of those teams and beat the other 3 easy dubs, and then they hold the tiebreak.
This is the fucking storylines I cast this goddamn game for, baby. This is why we cast, Flynn. Yes. Oh my god, I love it.
G2's going to Japan. The
All
rest
right.
of the schedule just looks so fucking free, dude. Like, if they're
You know
playing the
what?
way they are right now and they keep it up, man, like, they can't lose, obviously. Like, they can't lose one of their free games. Like, they have to beat Vitality tomorrow. They have to beat Sisu Wednesday. And they have to beat fucking Penta in the last week. Those are your 3 easy wins. You have to get those. But then your destiny is in your own fucking hands. Because all you need is 1 point out of 6 against Na'Vi and the Giants. And you hold the tiebreak over Empire now.
So all they have to do is, technically speaking, tie in points and they go to Japan.
Yep. Because they hold the tiebreak. They have an extra 4 rounds over them. There's no breaking that tiebreak. It's head-to-head first, and then total second.
Holy fuck.
They're going to Japan, man. They're going to fucking Japan.
I like this hot take, dude. I like this hot take a lot. I like it. You're honestly making me a believer after I looked at Empire's schedule. I'm like, ooh, this is going to be close.
Yeah. Empire had the softest game of their fucking life against Penta, and they threw it. They drew 6-6. Then they lost to G2.
So here's the other question, though.
Yeah.
Now we have to go through Navi's schedule.
Sure.
So let's go look at Navi's schedule real quick.
They play the Giants tomorrow.
Yep. And then they play Penta.
That's a free dub, so that's 3.
Yep. Yep.
And then they play G2.
G2. Okay.
That's a question mark.
All right. And then they play Empire. That's a question mark.
fucking question mark. And then they play
But
Chaos.
then they play Chaos.
So they have 6 free points right now against Penta and Chaos out of 5 games.
How many free points does G2 have?
9. So that'll put them 1 up because Navi's at 18 and G2's at 16 right now. They'll be past Na'Vi just on free points, and then those coin flips could go either
So
way.
no, the big piece to this puzzle, Flynn, is the head-to-head.
Head-to-head right now, it should be Na'Vi winning right now. Na'Vi against G2, yes. They have the tiebreak up 7-4 right now.
No, I'm saying right now that the October 7th, that Monday game,
Yep.
that's a huge deal.
Got to beat them 7-3 or better. Or you can beat them 7-4 like they did to you. And right now, G2 has a plus 13 round differential versus Navi's plus 6. All you have to do is hold that plus 13 pace. The Navi's plus 6 pace. They've been playing closer games, but they've got the wins out of it.
God damn it. Why can't NA be more competitive?
Honestly, like NA is just like who's throwing harder. Right now,
Yeah,
EU is like who's
EU,
balling
like-
out harder.
Yeah. Well, like, it's late season. People are waking up, motherfucker. Like, let's go. Oh, dude. Oh, my God. All right. So there's that. Wow. This is good. EU, again, region to watch.
Yeah. And I mean, like, Vitality's about to get knocked out of the playoff race back-to-back days.
Yep.
Tomorrow's game and Wednesday's game. They play fucking G2 and Empire. They're done for.
Yep. Those are huge. But here's the thing. If they pull the upset, that just makes us all the more wilder.
Watch them lose to G2 but beat Empire just to help them out. Just to help out
Dude,
G2.
Right? That'd be fucking crazy.
Imagine Empire doesn't get a free 3 points out of their free games.
Vodafone loses 4 straight.
I mean, they'd have to lose to Chaos Vitality back-to-back to get the 4 straight. But they also play G2 Empire back-to-back at the end of the season, so, like, good fucking luck.
All right, so
dude, first place isn't even locked right now. Like the Giants are good, but they've been playing bad the last couple of games. They still got their 6 points, but like
they
have
play
the
Navi
hardest
tomorrow.
Schedule.
Yeah, they play Navi tomorrow, which again could be completely an upset because Navi is literally reciprocity. Just like if reciprocity had access to cocaine, like that's literally that's what it is. That's how it feels.
That's a good description.
Really?
Like Doki's on one right now. Doki and Citizen have been unleashed.
Like what is Navi's energy drink sponsor? Let's find out real quick.
I don't know.
Vincere. Let's see.
Is it Red Bull?
I don't know. We're about to find out. Official site of Natus Vincere. They are sponsored by Monster Energy. No shit. This all makes sense. This man's out here drinking fucking like he wakes up and drinks recovery, Flynn. Like this man is fucking cracked out of his mind. That's what it is. 100%. Fucking okay. So everything's making sense now. All right. So Navi is literally just cracked out on Monster against literally all of their teams. So they play Vodafone, which again, winnable. If Vodafone especially goes into it like trying to pull more strategic shit, Navi's just gonna eat them alive.
Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. You want to know what I just noticed as well?
What?
G2 currently has the tie break over the Giants.
Dude,
they won 7-5 week 6 and they play week 13.
Dude, Flynn, holy dude. Like holy like, oh my god.
Ladies and gentlemen, get aboard the fucking hype train. G2 to Japan.
Yo. I hope you guys know Flynn and I are literally going to be like just like drinking and watching these games together.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be fucking hilarious. Gonna get some day drinking going on. It's at 1 p.m. tomorrow.
Awesome. This is fucking awesome. Oh, dude, we're watching these games tomorrow. Like we're getting in a Discord call and watching these.
I'm fucking
holy
down.
Fucking shit, man.
I'm so down. Are you kidding me?
Oh my god. Okay. Actually, oh, you know what?
What?
Flynn, you know what we could do? We could spitball this real quick. We could go live on like either your channel or my channel,
and then we could just like it's your channel.
Okay, so we could go live, set a Discord call, and then just like talk about what's happening on the live stream, like how people will do, like how fucking Barstool will do for like fucking games that are live.
Okay.
We could definitely do that for like EU tomorrow.
All right. I'm down.
I'm fucking down with. Oh, dude, let's do that. I'm fucking
down.
Stokes TV on Twitch, boys.
Yep.
Let's get it. All right. Oh my god.
G2's going to Japan. I thought I'd throw that in there.
Holy shit. Okay. And then so Vodafone plays Natus Vincere. Then they play Chaos. That's a win.
Yep.
Then they play Vitality. That's a little up in the air if Vitality can bring it back.
Yep.
So we'll leave that as a question mark. But then they play G2 Empire.
I mean, like, look at it this way, okay? Ooh. My big fucking dark horse for like upsets right now is Vitality because they have the hardest rest of schedule right now besides the Giants. And
all it takes is for them to topple one, dude.
Yep. All it takes is for them to beat one, and G2 has the clearest motherfucking road to Japan you've ever seen in your life.
You guys know what the Silk Road is? That's what it is. G2's on the Silk Road right now.
Vitality either beats or ties Empire or beats or ties the Giants, and all of a sudden, this is a fucking bloodbath to the final. Whose like dying fingertip is going to cross the finish line first? Like that's what's going to happen. All it takes is Vitality after they get dumpstered by G2 and Empire, or maybe even upset Empire. Like they'll be out of it. They'll know they're out of it, and it becomes a 3-way race between G2, the Giants. And well, a 4-way race: Navi, G2, Empire, and Giants.
Oh my Christ!
I'm so excited, dude. Like EU just gets me so fucking hyped, man. Like NA is just boring right now. NA is totally fucking boring right now. EU is the place where you go if you want some fucking spicy storylines.
All right. Well, now that we're done talking about EU.
Yeah.
So the fun part's over.
The fun part is over. Let's go to the boringest boring place on boring planet Earth, LATAM.
Damn, dude, you really gonna do the boys like that?
It's just like it's the same fucking thing every season. The only like cool thing about it is a sad thing, which is MIBR being bad. Like that's the cool thing this season. It's like, oh, they're bad. Okay. Like, great.
Yeah, MIBR they drank way too much NyQuil or something, dude. They're just fucking asleep at the wheel. I don't know what it is.
Just bad.
It's crazy.
They're just incredibly fucking bad right now. Like it's honestly terrifying how bad they've gotten. It feels like they'll be able to bounce back eventually. If like, I mean, no one's beaten them in a relegation game. Let's be honest. Lat MCL is fucking worse than an ACL.
Yeah. I honestly think just for this, we'll just go like this, right? So we're not gonna do letter grade, but we'll do positive, negative. Elevate, negative. That's
the
that
negativist.
They're negative 35 in rounds, by the way, if you guys were wondering. MIBR, what the fuck happened? They fell off a cliff, literally just like threw themselves off said cliff.
Yep.
Black Dragons are doing Black Dragons. It's literally what they've been like for a year now.
Yeah, they're pretty iffy.
INTZ, a little bit surprising. They're in the middle of the pack, but they've always really rested right in the middle of the pack. Team Liquid looked fantastic at DreamHack, but they really are still trying to find their footing online. I think the one thing that surprised a lot of people, which I honestly didn't think it was going to be that surprising, was Team One Esports are in the top 3 right now. But I mean, they truly are. When you look at LATAM and go, yeah, LATAM just guns people, you just think Team One. That's really it. Like, it's Team One and Ninjas in Pajamas for me. FaZe is a lot more strat oriented in my eyes. Obviously, they can always still turn up in those gunfights. I mean, again, they live in the region that is known for gunfights. But whenever I see them perform really well, it's still a lot more strat minded than it is anything else. But for those, I still think Team One is the big one that surprised a lot of people. FaZe Clan right back where FaZe Clan's always been, first or second. Then Ninjas in Pajamas. Do you want to say Psycho 47 times or not?
Considering Allied didn't hire me to work the event and they put that dumbass on the stage instead, yeah, sure.
All right. Well, I guess the one thing we can all talk about, the one thing you guys have all been waiting for us to talk about.
Yeah.
You almost forgot again, didn't you?
I did almost forget. I feel like I'm subconsciously intentionally forgetting. Like,
okay. Well,
I feel like part of me doesn't want to talk about this, but fuck it. This is what we're here for, right?
Yeah, I guess that's what the podcast does, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, let's fucking talk about it. So, Ninjas in Pajamas picks up Gohan and doesn't drop, and benches Pino.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a thing that happened.
Yep. In case you guys are wondering, just for a little bit of background on Gohan, he started all the way back on Santos Dexterity. This is all the way back in 2017. Got moved over to Team Font. He was on Team Font up until the 6th Invitational 2018, where he was on the FaZe roster. They ended up losing to Evil Geniuses. And then he was on FaZe all the way up until next year, where Liquid picked him up. He played at 6th Invitational 2019. Liquid dropped him after that due to toxicity.
Yeah, and it wasn't just like your toxicity. It was like some next level shit. Like, we were casting at SI when Gohan was on FaZe. And let's just say
I wasn't impressed, just to put that as a side note.
Let's just say he got very loud at his teammates when things went wrong. He stood up and got mad. Yeah, he screamed at his fucking teammates like every fucking round, and I felt so bad for them. Like, I can still picture Mav's face looking down at his keyboard, just trying to fucking ignore Gohan while he is standing and screaming at him 2 seats away.
I think the thing that blew me away about that entire LAN was the fact that people tried to compare what Gohan was doing to Canadian yelling over the fucking thing at the other team going, I know you can hear me. Like,
yep.
No, that's not even on the same fucking planet, my friend.
No.
And this comes from somebody that talks a lot of shit. I talk a lot of shit. Like, if you come to my stream or play me in a game or whatever, if you start talking shit, I'm talking shit right back. I don't care. Like, I might be 2-7, but if I kill your dumb ass off some angle, I'm letting you know. Like, I don't care, you know? So especially inside of Siege, if you play at a higher level of rank, you know what toxicity truly is.
Can I correct myself real quick?
Yeah, what's up?
I totally thought Gohan was on FaZe. He was on Liquid. I'm an idiot. I just remembered.
Oh yeah, because you said fucking Ion, didn't you?
I said Mav.
Oh my god.
I said Mav. It wasn't Mav. Sorry.
Yeah,
I can't remember. It was Zig. That's who it was, because he's not on the roster anymore.
It was Zig, and also the one that always got to me during that was go back, watch those games, and just see how Nesk played. I've never seen Nesk, the guy that literally developed how you play with Ashe, play so scared in my entire life. The dude just didn't move. He would just stand in the same spot and hold an angle. And if somebody pushed the angle, he'd probably get the kill. If not, the round was over. I've never seen the Liquid roster play just so passive in my entire life. And there was only one thing that was different. Just gonna put that out there. So
I mean, if they can, if I don't think he's changed. Like, I'll just come on. I don't think Gohan's changed. I think he's still gonna be his usual ass self. His usual fuck assery is still gonna be a thing. But for NIP right now, I think Pino had been underperforming. Like, he came out of the gates pretty hot as a new kid. And I think some of the pressure was starting to get to him of being at the events and having to perform well, because the team was doing a lot better than they were this time last year. This time last year, we're talking about NIP getting relegated. That's back when there was auto-relegation. So that was fun. Mm-hmm. They were literally pulling an MIBR of last year. Then obviously they brought in Muzi and Pino, and they made changes. They dropped Wog, and I'm blanking on the other guy they dropped. But they made some changes. They brought in some young blood, but I think the pressure was starting to get to Pino, and he was just like, I don't know, he's 18. I think he's 19 now, but he was 8. Like, they picked him up like a couple days after he turned fucking 18. Like, the kid was not like Bolo level prodigy, but like, he was pretty well known for being an underage gunner in LATAM, and when they brought him in, I think he was playing off more instinct than anything. But I honestly feel like he doesn't have that experience playing under the pressure, under the bright lights, and on a stage to be able to cope with that right now. Gohan obviously has experience and doesn't have a problem screaming at people to his own teammates and opponents on a stage. So I guess that counts as experience. They just know he won't shake. Mm-hmm. And he's always been a good player. Like, there's no disputing that Gohan is actually a good player, but like, if you're doing that kind of shit to your own team and making your own team play worse because of your own dumbass behavior, that's pretty problematic. So if NIP can hold him down and make sure he's not fucking losing his marbles, hey, maybe he won't shake, and maybe NIP could actually be a strong contender to win Japan, because there's no fucking way they don't make Japan now. They had a pretty soft beginning to the second split. They played Elevate and Black Dragons, so yeah, that's kind of free versus Liquid, who had a tougher start. So Liquid, I was trying to look for like any kind of like crazy EU level upsets, but like Liquid's too deep down, and they actually do have the tiebreak against FaZe. So like, if they were ever able to get in a position to tie FaZe in points, they have the tiebreak. But I just think they're too far down and FaZe has too many free wins, as is with LATAM, that I don't think it's going to be possible for Liquid to catch up. So the top two teams right now in LATAM are NIP and FaZe, respectively, at 25 and 20. Then in third is Team 1 at 13, then Liquid at 12. So like, you got a tall fucking mountain to climb there just to catch them. Yeah, you have the tiebreak over FaZe, but I mean, they're going to have, 29 points at the end of this 3-game skid. Like, they play Team 1, who they'll notoriously beat. I mean, they've always beaten Team 1, and they'll probably do it again. Then you get a free win against Black Dragons, and you get a free win against MIBR. So, they're going to be at 29, and, good fucking luck catching them at that point.
Yeah.
Liquid has a couple of free wins of their own, but I don't know.
Yeah, so... Actually, fun fact, I went back and did some research on Six Invitational 2019, just real quick, for groups as well as the final stages, just to see, because obviously that was the last time Gohan played competitive at this tier, just to see how he performed. He was actually the 5th worst player inside of Group C. And that's including, that's the, if you remember correctly, that's the group that had Mantis FPS in it. When they had, when Sweetblock and Nelio did literally nothing.
Yeah, that was the G2 group. That was G2, Mocket.
Yeah, G2, Liquid, Mocket, and Mantis.
Yeah. So a pretty soft group. And I mean, they made it out of groups, but
oh yeah. But it was by no means electric.
No, they were boring.
Trust me, I'm the one who casted the game and wanted to die the entire time. And that's when little old Stokes could barely fucking cast. And I'm fucking casting the best of 3 between Liquid and Mocket on Villa. And then Sexy Cake finally was like, hey, I know how to play smoke, and kills 3 people to clutch out the fucking game.
I think for Gohan on Nip now, the story is, can he keep his emotions under control? Can Nip keep him under control? And is he going to be more of a help to the team than he is a detriment?
That's probably why they benched the other player.
Pino?
Yeah, that's probably why they benched Pino and didn't just outright drop him along with contract. But like, they probably have Gohan on trial. If I had to guess, like he's probably on a trial contract.
I talked to a couple LATAM pros. I won't name them, obviously. But I talked to them in Montreal about it, because obviously they knew about it before it went live. And they were saying basically everything I just kind of said, which was like, he's young, he needs to learn, he's got confidence issues and pressure issues. So I wouldn't be at all surprised to see this be like a half-season stint for Gohan as kind of like a make-it-or-break-it contract for him to kind of prove himself. And then if Pino gets his shit under control, I wouldn't be at all shocked to see Pino come back or Pino go to one of the larger other teams in LATAM. You could see him maybe joining forces with VNX on Ints and then maybe turning that into a potential contender. But you could also see someone like Liquid maybe wanting to make a change if the regular season doesn't go as well as DreamHack did, even though they looked wonderful at DreamHack. Pino's in a good spot right now where as long as he just banks on Gohan fucking up, he could still have a spot on NIP next season. And I think you're right. I think this is kind of like we need someone more confident and more sure of themselves right now. But in the long term, Pino is probably the better option.
Mm-hmm. I mean, but hey, again, this is not something bad. It can always affect the roster negatively because you're taking someone that's been in the roster for a very long time, putting them on a bench, putting someone in there saying, hey, this might be this man's job. And that guy's got to stare that other guy down and go, okay, fucker. Like, I guess, but here's the thing. If you look at traditional sports, which I know we make so many fucking analogies, and you guys get on us about how Flynn and I are traditional sports guys, and we bring up all these fucking analogies, and you don't give a shit. But, there's a lot to learn from that. I'm always going to tell you guys that. There's a lot to learn from traditional sports. And here's another thing. Every single roster inside of the NFL for quarterbacks has at least 2 QBs. And in preseason, they play for their fucking jobs. That's a fact. Tom Brady is always playing for his job. Everyone is always playing for their job. Having pressure there to go, you need to be better is not a negative thing. It's only a negative thing if you take it as that and go, hey, there's somebody else here that's trying to do my position. I don't want that. If Pino wants to get better and is like, fuck that, Gohan's not taking my job, then do it, So I can see it being negative affecting in his mind going, okay, they want to replace me. I'm not playing well, blah, blah, blah. Instead of, for the adverse effect of going, hey, fuck this. I want my roster spot and trying to improve himself.
Yeah, I think Pino's still got a bright future ahead of him. I don't think this is the end of the road for him.
No, not at all.
Well, that's LATAM. Not really a whole lot to talk about. Like I said, it's probably going to be FaZe and Nip.
APAC. Oh, wait, Fnatic. Okay, cool. We're done.
The APAC LAN is coming up, so if you guys want to know the teams for that, that's on October 19th, the same day as the Canadian Nationals LAN final, but the APAC LAN for the Saturday will be in the morning, and then our thing will be in the evening on the main channel, so lots of Siege to watch on the 19th, but the teams that made it out of Japan were Cyclops and Nora, no surprise, South Korea, Cloud9, and then insert random team that has no chance. Their name is Trippy, good luck. Out of SEA was Xavier and Aerowolf again. Both have had decent performances at APAC LANs. Aerowolf was obviously also at Allied in Vegas, and they did not great. We'll see what happens there. And then out of Australia,
Wildcard and Fnatic, baby.
Yeah, Wildcard. Wildcard is the wild card right now. Honestly, I think they're. I think they look good. I think
this roster is crazy, dude. And if anything, if you guys are long-standing like APAC fans or big Fnatic fans, because I know a lot of people from multiple regions are big Fnatic fans because obviously they come out of the APAC region. Everyone's trying to show them as much love as possible because they are a younger region. You got to feel good for Neofighter because he ended up getting dropped from Fnatic, joins Atletico, and that roster has looked electric. Absolutely electric. On LAN, off LAN, doesn't matter. Went from Atletico to Orglis, now Wildcard Gaming. We'll have to see what they can actually do once they get to the APAC LAN.
Yeah, and I actually watched the last games for the Australia Pro League the other day in bed just because it was fucking like 5 a.m. and I couldn't sleep. So
literally sounds like my life.
Yep. I was like, oh, there's Pro League on. Okay, cool. APAC. Okay, I'll watch some of these games. Wildcard had a pretty easy best of 2. It's kind of like the weird CL format we have now where they play 2 best of 1s. The best of 2, but it doesn't count as a best of 2. It counts as maps. They fucking weird. Anyway, they had a pretty easy game. They 7-0'd in their first game, and then I fell asleep during the second game, but they were up like 4-0. They look good. But I did like their performance, honestly. I liked how they played. Their fragging power is it's spicy. I like it. So we gotta wait and see who actually plays each other in the quarterfinals. But I still have a bit of hope for Cloud9. I think they might be able to bounce back. Nora is obviously a huge question mark because no Waka means it's not the same Nora.
It never will be the same Nora because Waka is one of the most, and I'm going to say this for the rest of my fucking life or as long as I do this job. Waka is one of the most mechanically skilled people we have ever had play this game. Ever. That includes joystick. Anyone that's playing right now, I don't give a fuck. That man's skill comparative is just light years ahead. It's insane. Yeah. So actually, fun fact, I was watching the joystick. Did you watch the joystick documentary yet?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you'll know in there, Pengu was talking about him at the Raleigh Major, and he said, you know, joystick isn't a guy that has like some like insane aim. He doesn't have shroud aim, you know, which is like basically like the guy isn't like you peek a pixel and your head's removed, you know, but he's always on the proper angle. He always knows where you're going to peek from, and he just wins his gunfights. He does. He's not some guy that he's just like 4 people peek at the same time and I click all of their heads with 2 bullets. Like that's not joystick. Joystick is someone that understands aggression. He understands how you're going to peek. And above all, he understands how to fucking kill you. And that's all he needs. But with Waka, as Flynn and I both know because of that border game, it doesn't matter where you are, how much of your body's peaked, any of it. If your head is exposed, you're going to die. It is insanity what that man is able to pull off. And I wish so dearly with my entire soul that man would come back and play Pro League again.
Yeah, but he makes too much money streaming. So
he makes way too fucking much money streaming.
He's never coming back. I see that question on the subreddit all the time. On the Pro League subreddit, they're like, when's Waka coming back? What could make Waka come back? I'm like, money.
Pay him $100,000 a year.
Yeah, like give him actual money, and that's what APAC is lacking. So
well, I mean, the good for APAC now is that a lot more APAC teams ended up getting into the pilot program, which is good. Norango got in there again. If you guys aren't aware and you guys just haven't been playing Siege much, but you listen to the podcast, the new Pro League skins are out, or those are out as well. But the new pilot program skins are out as well. Fucking amazing. Norango's is probably top tier. Actually, Flynn was using it last night in his CO game. And, you know, that's probably why you won that 1v1, Flynn, is because you had super relaxed boys on your pants.
I had my fucking Nora skins on,
Yep. That charm is badass, though.
It is.
It's fucking sick. So, also, there's a lot of people that were wondering why their charms aren't glowing in game. Make sure you have bloom effects on. Don't put lens flares on, but put your bloom effects on in your graphic settings, and then your charm will actually glow how it's supposed to.
It's what makes Valkyrie cameras glow outside, too, if you guys were curious.
So there you go.
If you want to make Valkyrie cameras easier to spot, or evil eyes, or bulletproofs, or defaults even, put bloom on. I have bloom turned off because
I do as well.
I hate it, but it does make shiny things easier to spot. But the counteractive effect of that is that it makes everything else that explodes super fucking bright. So like a thermite charge going off will actually blind you, and a nitro cell going off will actually blind you. So there's give and take.
There's always give and take. And actually, on a side note, while we're talking about shit like this, I think that we should just kind of give a little bit of praise to Ubisoft about their recent map developments, especially with Canal, because we haven't talked about it too much.
Canal go.
Yeah, you and I actually kind of put out a controversial tweet. Well, I started it, and then Flynn was like, if I agree with it, then like it's got to be correct, because like Sam and I never agree on the same shit. So here's the reasoning that I like Canal, guys. There's a couple things. Number one, I'm going to argue this point till the day I die. It's the best reworked map in the entire game because Clubhouse is not a fucking rework. It's a map buff. They literally like put up 2 walls, added 2 rooms, and like, here you go. That's not a fucking map rework. It's not. And Stuart, which it works for esports in Ubisoft, literally tweeted under my tweet, replied and said, Clubhouse is technically a map buff, not a rework. So all of you guys can lick my fucking ass, all right? So I don't give a shit. Secondly, the reason that Canal's new layout is good is because you can actually roam. There's actually a strategic mindset to it, but it keeps the same values that Canal had. You still have to be worried about windows. There's a lot more rotation that you can actually have on roam game. It basically took the concept of Canal and just raised it up to a higher level. And I fucking love it. There's a lot more vertical play. All the shit that they added is beautiful. And I just want to praise Ubisoft for actually listening to the community about what we thought was wrong with maps, such as like lighting and shit. Flynn and I talk a lot just like off podcast about how a lot of the maps are very bland colors, which makes it very hard to spot people because of how bland the uniforms are. That's why the uniforms that come out when it's just like, oh, it's just a brown uniform with like some speck on it. Like that, well, like some paint blotches or whatever the fuck on it. That's why they're difficult to see, is because the colors inside of the maps that are currently used are just so fucking bland that you just blend right in.
Canal goat.
But with Canal and all that shit, coloring's a lot better. The flow of the map's better. It's just overall better. And on a second note, fuck any of you guys were like, "Oh, Clubhouse is the best rework." It's not a rework. So there you go. You lost the battle. I won the war.
Canal goat.
Canal goat.
I'd like to see Canal in Pro League in the
take border out.
Yep, take border out.
Take it out.
I like. Okay, this is gonna stir a.
But don't take it out of ranks. Is that what you're about to say?
No, this is gonna stir a big conversation because I know some people will think I'm insane. Take club out.
What?
Take club out for Canal.
You better go into this because I'm not standing on this hill with you, motherfucker.
my thing with club is it's so goddamn default.
Wait, hold on, pause for 2 seconds.
Right.
Hello, Reddit. How are you guys doing?
Hi, Reddit.
Okay, you can go.
I don't know. I just think that club is too default, man. Like it's
really is.
It's the new map that good teams go to die on. Like you get a good starting side on defense.
You have two of them now, though. On a counter argument, you have two of them. You have border and clubhouse. They're both extremely default. You do the same shit.
Yeah, like
over
take
and over
them
and
both
over.
out for all I fucking care. I don't know. I hate border as much as I hate club. I don't know. I just find it way too fucking default. There's no innovation. Nobody plays bar stock because they hate me. Bar stock's the best site in the game.
Shut the fuck up.
It's the best site in the game.
I hate you so much.
It's the best site in the game. But yeah, I don't know. I think Clubhouse is stale. I think Clubhouse is boring to cast. It's boring to play. It's boring to watch. Like it's such a boring, tired fucking map.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd rather see Canal in there over border or club.
All right. Well, that's your shit opinion. You can stand on that. And yeah, I'm gonna sit right here. Actually,
right.
You know what?
What?
Why am I doing this? Okay. I'm gonna agree with you.
Oh no.
And here's my reasoning why.
He's joining me. I'm converting people.
Here's my reasoning why. No, here's my reasoning why, because I had to think through this for just a split second. Of the two maps, I would much rather cast border than I would clubhouse, because that shit is boring as fuck. So fucking boring. At least border, like you have like some crazy runouts, like people can get like crazy aggressive, keep people out of the building. Like we see Rec do that pretty often. Clubhouse is just like, well, we're on CCTV cache.
Yep.
This guy's gonna hold garage catwalk, and if he dies, then they're gonna lose the round. Like, like that's literally it. It's fucking it. Oh, okay, yeah. So I'm gonna stand right there with you, and we're probably gonna get set on fire. But that's perfectly fine.
That's fine.
You know what? I'm actually gonna wait for the subreddit post to go up, and then I'm gonna wait for Parker to text us. That's what I'm gonna wait for.
Probably both of those things are to happen. But anyway.
Yep.
That's APAC out of the way, and then some weird conversation about maps and shit.
Yep, and development and everything else. So.
On to Challenger League.
Oh, on a secondary note, okay. coming off of the development and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Are you with or against completely removing uniforms of any variety from Pro League? Because I'm completely down with default uniforms on every single person.
Yep, I'm good with that. I think
and if you want to go one step further, do universal team skins, but make it to where only the spectator can see them, or you can force them for yourself. If you can make it a setting in the game where they can run whatever the fuck they wanted, but on my side, I get to just set their shit to default. I would love you forever.
That would be cool. I think
I would love to shoot Jaeger in his stupid face and actually be able to see him.
I think the one compromise I think I would have for Pro League is no elites. Because there's elites that are banned right now, so you can't just say yes elites or no elites. So we're going to go with no elites, even though some of the elites are fine.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're going to only include defaults, pilot program, or Pro League skins. And then you're done. Everything else is banned.
Okay. I honestly, Flynn, I like that, and I'll tell you why. The reasoning that I like that is because all of the Pro League skins that they make keep the exact same silhouette as what their default is with just different colors.
Mm-hmm. There's no changing the silhouettes. The hitbox is still, or the perceived hitbox is still the same.
Mm-hmm.
They're still as chunky or as thin as they usually are. Same thing with the pilot program skins, and same thing with default skins. Everyone stays the same shape. There's no like special Jaeger headgear that everyone uses right now. The fucking Halloween headgear that makes your head the size of a fucking tennis ball. There's no fucking Doc Elite that narrows his face down. You only have that little hat on, and it makes him slimmer himself. There's no fucking any Elite that makes you smaller. The Bandit Elite that takes off the headgear and just has a bald fucking head on. Same fucking thing. You have that kind of problem right now. You get rid of anything that changes the silhouette. But you keep Pro League advertisement going for revenue. You get your pilot program skins in there. If you don't want any of those, you can just rock default.
Mm-hmm. And last thing to bitch about before we completely get off the subject of just like game development and everything, please, for the love of God, I don't know if it's in, I legitimately do not know if it's in development or not, but make an entire fucking esports page and just shove it all over fucking everything. I don't care if I load it into the game, it tells me what games are going live tonight. Actually, you know what? Do that shit. Make a shutter thing, or like when I play ranked and ranked is going on, that in a little bubble, it just has live and it shows you what fucking Pro League game's going on. That would be fucking sick, wouldn't it, Flynn? If you were queuing for a ranked game and you just watch Pro League while you were chilling?
That would be cool.
That would actually be sick. Put that in the game. Throw my name on it, because now I'm copywriting it.
All right, so on to Challenger League. So we still have some things to go over before we go to Q&A. I guess
we already did EU. We might as well not even talk about that one. So
that's fair. So we'll do NA Challenger League and then go to Q&A.
Mm-hmm.
So NACL, obviously, if anyone's living under a rock for the last little bit, I'm in North American Challenger League. We played Rise Nation on Friday. We won Game 1 on Villa 7-5, and we choked a 6-2 lead on Consulate.
We choked it
6-6.
so bad.
Yeah, we choked, but there were some other results in there that were fucking weird. And like NACL is always kind of hard to kind of predict. Obey dumpstering PG. We kind of all figured that was going to be the case. Our games against Rise, we felt confident going into, and I mean, if you just told me at the end of the day we were going to get 4 to 6 points against Rise, I'd be happy. The way we got that last tie, I'm upset about, and the whole team's upset about, but you got to move on from there. Adventure Force taking down Akatsuki 7-4 on Coast and tying 6-6 on Border. What in the actual literal fuck?
Suzaku is a fucking cheat code.
Suzaku on Twitch. They even target banned him on Border, and it still didn't get him 3 points. And then, to round out my former teammates, DG taking a tie against 2F and a loss on Villa. 7-1 to Two-Faced and tying 6-6 on Club.
Do you want me to say it?
Go for it.
Fuck you, Brainbow.
You want to know the funniest thing in the world?
What?
Rainbow Chase and I were playing a ranked game before the games. And we were just hyping each other up. We were just like, yeah, Rainbow, you go kill him with your one eye. You fucking blind-ass old man. Go back to the retirement home.
Doing your best Capital impersonation, motherfucker.
Rainbow was like, yeah, don't worry. You'll be relegated to CL and back to casting in no time. And I'm like, okay, bud, okay. We're hyping each other up. And then, hey, I came away with 4 points. You came away with 1. What the fuck happened there, bud? Same thing for you, Talon. What the fuck happened, huh?
Got him.
Y'all jump ship for some greener pastures, in quotes, and we're ahead of both of y'all's ass in the standings right now. It's only been 1 week. Like, I'll calm down, but like, it feels pretty good. It feels pretty good.
Dude. Jesus Christ.
It's fucking Adventure Force, bro. I'm scared to play them. We don't play them till week 7. We don't fucking play them until week 7. They're gunning like this on week 1, man. The only good thing is we'll have 12 VODs of them, but like, VODs I don't think will even help against Adventure Force, bro.
They are completely off the shits. They are, for lack of a better term, I've basically shortened smooth brain to smooth. They are the smoothest of the brains, dude. Like, they just don't fucking care. They're like, oh, you thought you were gonna do that? Cool. We're just gonna throw everyone at like one room, and if we all die, that's fine. But if not, we're probably gonna win the round. Like, it's It is truly psychotic gameplay. It's like those ranked games. Actually, Flynn, you'll remember this. I'll do some quick explanation for everybody else. But remember when we played Oregon in ranked up against Lebron and all them, and they were literally at every fucking window and we couldn't touch the building?
Yeah.
That's their play style.
Yeah, it looked like it.
Like literally, they're just everywhere all at one time. You're like, what the fuck? Like you kill one guy and then just like it's like his dead body just spawns 3 people. It's fucking crazy.
And then there's the PG shit that went down on Twitter last night. So that was fun. So Parallax, if anyone's unaware, got dumpstered by Obey. 7-3-7-3. That was not close. Obey, if anyone's also unaware, is the former Embers team, the former Pittsburgh Embers team. So that's a thing. And PG then decided to make some roster moves after 1 week. Which is a little okay. You're doing your best NA impression and you're living up to it. So they make roster moves, and one of the people who got dropped was the owner of the ESL page. So
he deleted it.
So he deleted the entire fucking ESL page and forfeited all the games for the entire season after getting dropped. So I go on to the fucking ESL page for CL to check the standings and stuff because I heard about all this going down.
Poor BK, dude.
They were 0-14, and I had a free 6 points, and I went, okay, I'm tweeting this. Free 6 points for everyone. Fascinating. And then Blarn literally had to tweet, we didn't disband. I'm like, oh, I kind of like those 6 points, but oh well. I guess we'll have to play you and take them the fair way.
All right, so
NA
I watched
being
the game.
NA.
Yeah, I watched the game. Obviously, you were playing, so you didn't watch the game, or you might have watched it on VOD review by now, but...
I have not gotten to that yet.
Okay, so I will give you the quickest explanation possible. So, you know when you were like growing up, Flynn, you were growing up, obviously for you it's a little bit different than mine, but we won't get into that. I'm not trying to fry you right now. But you know that first time that your parents were like, Flynn, you get to cook the frozen pizza. You get to make your own little like dinner. It's gonna be, it's gonna be fun. You're like, yeah, I get to cook my own pizza, and you get out of the oven, and then your parents hand you the fucking pizza cutter, and you don't know how to do shit with it.
Okay,
that's Cry Magic with Maverick. How in the fuck are you so bad with an operator that's been in the fucking game for an entire year? And then when you get dropped for being so dog shit with just everything, you then continue to cry and go as far as to delete an entire page and forfeit the rest of the season just to fuck over the people that just dropped you because you are bad.
Oh, you really like exposing him. I didn't say his name, but I knew who it was.
Oh, wait, shit. Oh, wait. You didn't say his name?
I didn't say his name, no. I guess we're rolling with it. I mean, Twitter knows. Everyone knows.
Well, this is going to be the first time the B-Leaguers, kind of give something up here. Whatever. Fuck it. Well. It's CL. People can be mad. I saw it on Twitter. I mean, obviously, it's pretty fucking out there.
Yeah, it's on Twitter.
You can literally go to the ESL page and see who fucking deleted it. Like,
yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah,
I was trying to save him the embarrassment, but hey, I guess we're all.
I mean, people are gonna know. People are gonna know Monday, anyways, right?
Yeah.
I think or whatever. So, I mean, dude, fucking hell, man. Like, look, I understand being livid about getting dropped from a team, being angry, blah blah blah, blah, but be a fucking adult. Come on, dude. Like, and the thing that pisses me off, Flynn, about a lot of this shit is 9 times out of 10, I see somebody do some head assery like this, and I'm like, dude's got to be like 18 years old, right? I go look it up, like they're like fucking like 25, and you're like, are you fucking serious right now, dude? Like, I don't know how old Cry is, but my God, dude, grow the fuck up. Like, you can go to war and get shot at. I know that for a fact. And you're like this, you're this little of a fucking kid. Grow up, dude. Come on. Seriously. That's ridiculous.
Kind of ridiculous.
I just hate shit like that. It's stupid. It's unneeded. It just puts a bad taste in my mouth because I'm in the same region as you. All right. Like, just please be a fucking adult. And if anything, you just hurt your chances of ever getting on any CL roster ever again. Again.
How to torch a comp career 101.
You didn't just burn a bridge. You just set the entire fucking state on fire. Like, you just nuked it. Like,
not smart.
Yeah, not smart at all. Not smart at all. So
yeah,
there you go. There's that.
Well, I'll let Blarn make his little announcement. tomorrow, even though we already know who they're picking up, and it's already on Reddit, and it's already on the ESL page. So if you want to know who PG is picking up, go to their ESL page or Reddit, and you'll see it. Yeah, so that was NACL. Same thing this week. So we have like a weird schedule this season for CL. So it's like every Friday for the first 3 weeks, and then it's like Monday, Wednesday, Monday, Friday, Monday. It's, I don't know. It's weird to round out the season. They like fucking
Just
condensed
another
it.
magic Monday.
Okay. So anyway, this week we played Two-Faced. They're also 1-1. They played DG and looked pretty good. We played Rise and looked okay. Not going to talk about the console game. But yeah, we play 2F. DG plays Rise. Adventure Force plays Obey. And PG with the new roster plays Akatsuki. So that is... That's what's happening this Friday for Challenger League. If you guys want to check out the games, it's on Spartan's channel, Spartan the Dog, or on Uzumaki's channel. That's where all the games...
Yes, it's Uzumaki with a 9.
Nah, he changed it. It's Uzumaki R6 with an A instead of a 9.
Oh, he just needs to fucking change off of Uzumaki in general.
Probably.
Like, I love you, Chris, but goddamn, man, please.
Consistent branding would be good.
Yeah.
And then Spartan's channel is pretty easy to find. Just search Spartan. He's verified. It'll be the first thing that shows up. So yeah, that's kind of that's CL in a nutshell. That's NACL. Yep. And that's all of our region wrap up, and it only took us an hour and a half. So now let's get into a fucking swamp of fucking Q&A questions.
Well, we got 2 other things to cover because otherwise people are getting mad at us.
For fuck's sake! I'm getting water. Do I need to be here to cover this?
Yeah.
Fuck! What do you want?
For one of them.
What?
Well, actually, for both of them, actually.
What?
Flynn's Tinder Safari, dude.
I haven't done anything. I've been CL grind mode.
You've been CL grind mode? No
grind
Punani
mode.
to talk about, dude?
No. Tinder is locked down right now. I haven't touched Tinder in a
locked
week.
down. What about Bumble, dude?
Also locked down. Haven't touched
How's
it
the
in a week.
grinder?
Pretty good. I've been getting railed in the ass on this couch every week. What's the second thing?
You know everyone's going to know why you play like you're constantly woeing.
Shut up, and what is the second thing?
I said you're going to... No, you literally like you're constantly hitting the woe, like when you play, because you know what everyone wants to talk about, Flynn. Why the fuck is your M&K set up so bad?
Oh, because fuck you. If you're getting gunned by that, then you're also trash and you can fuck right off. If I'm gunning you in Challenger League with that mouse and keyboard setup, then you are just bad. Just get over it. Don't ask me about it. Don't ask me about my setup. Just literally like that's like you're just bad at that point.
Exclamation point sensitivity?
800 DPI 6.6 in game.
And then what is your weirdest keybind?
Apps lock is push to talk. Everything else is default except for drone buttons are on my mouse.
Okay. All right.
I'm a support player. I need quick access to my drones, motherfucker.
I want this place looking like Disney on Ice in 5 seconds.
That everything? Can I go get water?
Go get your water. I'll sit here and I'll talk about my keybinds because everyone's going to be like, what the fuck?
All right.
All right. So I guess while he's gone, guys, we'll talk about my shit, and then I'll answer a couple questions as to what I've been asked like recently on my live stream. So first things first, my setup for keybinds is really fucked. I'll actually read it. I'll read the list down because mine is not default at all. So here you guys go. I'm fucking with my sensitivity as we talk because I just like running through Terra Sun sometimes because I'm a fidgeter when I talk, so I have to have something going on. Otherwise, I get distracted very easily. So right now I'm playing 10-10-78 on default multiplier. I turn Kix's multiplier off. As for my keybinds, this is where things get very fucky. So my open chat, like to talk to everyone, is U instead of T because I used to hit it all the time. My push to talk is G, which is grenades for default. Hold on, there's someone coming to my left. All right, there we go. Killed that guy. Let me get back in here. All right, so my crouch is on my mouse. It's my back mouse button. My prone for me is C. Walk is control instead of alt. Reload is R still. Interact is still F. Melee is still V. My primary gadget is my front mouse button. My secondary gadget is push your scroll wheel in. Observation tools is 5. My deploy drone is 4. And then my scan is caps lock.
I'm back.
So that is my fucked up. All right. Do you want to know my most fucked up keybind is?
No, I don't care.
My crouch is on C. Or excuse me, my prone is on C.
Good for you.
So there you go. And then as for the other thing, the reason why Stokes does not compete inside of Rainbow Six Siege is because I'm contractually obligated to ESL. So therefore I cannot have anything to do with anything ESL related that's on side of comp besides casting. So I can't compete inside of anything esports oriented. And as for the people that are like, well, why don't you just compete in CCS? I literally have to go to Poland like 9 times out of 10. And that would be very difficult on 140 ping. So
Yeah, they wouldn't even let you play.
there you go.
All right. Questions?
Well, we got a lot of them, friend.
Right.
Shall we get to it?
Yes, sir.
All right. Reddit.com. Where? Boom, 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 boom. All right, let's get this bread, shall we?
Yes, sir.
All right. What do you think about Canal going into the Pro League rotation replacing Border if it happened? This is by PM Me Your Bums.
We already said that, but or just talked about it. But I'm down. I'm really fucking down. I'm really down.
All right. So on to the next one by Noah, the resident #1 fan of B-Leaguers.
Mm-hmm.
Does Zaku's success prove that lust is the ultimate motivator?
Absolutely. I need to get myself a couple weeb body pillows to help improve my game day fragging. Zaku is clearly the best player in all of Challenger League, and I can't wait to see him in Pro League.
Yeah, dude, should be interesting. EG should have picked him up instead of Mo.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So from James Milo. In case you guys forgot, like last time, Obey, Elevate, Gohan, Wag, Joiner, and Movtaho. How do you say that guy's name?
Yanatir and Movitao.
Yanatir and Movitao. Those are some fucking names, brother.
They're Finnish. What do you expect?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Ketabastari. Kantaraketi.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, as for Obey and Elevate, Flynn and I have both come to an agreement that we absolutely like seeing, old organizations come back in as long as they pay their players. That's all we give a fuck about. So
Basically.
there you go. What about WAG?
That was the guy who got dropped on NIP. Did something new happen with WAG?
Was it the guy that got dropped? I thought it was Pino.
Yeah, Pino way back in the day. Like Pino was the guy who came in for WAG. Or Muzi came in for WAG, sorry. In season 9.
Does something happen with WAG? Look up WAG real quick.
I'm looking. WAG thankfully has a page. Is active on Black Dragons Esports. Okay, he got picked up by Black
when
Dragons.
Did he get picked up?
That's an excellent fucking question. Black Dragons Esports. September 2nd. So that was like a month ago. He got picked up in place of Hugzord.
Oh.
So the roster is now Panico, GDN, PZD, Live, and WAG. I mean, he was pretty bad for a while there on NIP, but the thing that saved him was his fucking clutch factor. If you go to my Twitch channel right now, the #1... Oh, sorry. I shouldn't just say #1. The number 20 most viewed clips are all of him clutching in an SI qual game. And they all have like 4,000 views.
Because LATAM is insane.
LATAM's insane, and they all clipped it and all shared it in different places. And it's just like, I don't fucking get... But he like 1v4'd.
20 separate clips of the same thing.
So, yeah.
Gotta love it.
Hold on. Let me actually go check to see how many it is. Because it's a lot. Uh-oh. There's audio. Don't play audio. There we go. Clips. I almost played a fucking Nissan ad in our podcast. What the fuck?
You just glitched so bad, dude.
Top of all time. Okay, ready. 1, 2... Okay, no. There's actually more clips in here. Okay, so the top 2 clips, anyway, are fucking WAG clutching. 3.2 thousand and 1.7. And then there's an Ion clutch in here. Oh, and then there's some CL clips in here. Okay, never mind. There's actually some weird-ass clips in my channel. You should go back and watch them all. Because I can't stream while I'm in fucking... God, I can't wait to get back and start streaming again. Holy shit.
Yeah, I'll be in Poland, though, so...
Yep, sucks to be you.
Yeah. I mean, you want to play some EU games because you're always awake too. we'll just try and, dude. We should try and duo queue on Smurf accounts and fucking EU and try and get diamond 100%. That'd be fun as shit.
That'd be good.
Get the casters can't play and caster bots accounts going again, dude.
Actual questions. Do you think ELC or EUCL is so good because of the fact that EU is so deep and there's less FODs for teams like Fours, Secret, and bondage, something, and masochism. I don't know the full acronym, what it means, but yes.
Got you, dude. Don't worry.
Yeah, more Google. I think it's bondage, domination,
discipline, sadism, and a masochism.
Okay, so sadism and masochism.
Hold on. There's a picture that explains it. So the B and the D are bondage and discipline. Okay. The D and the S are domination and submission, and the S and M is sadism and masochism. I don't know what the fuck sadism. I don't know what sadism means. We're about to look it up.
Oh God, we're going into some weird porn
sadism,
territory.
The tendency to derive pleasure, especially sexual gratification, from inflicting pain, suffering, or humiliation on others.
And the masochism is like receiving
So when I
pain.
shit on you in ranked, I'm a sadist.
Interesting. If these teams were to go to LATAM or NA, they would probably make Pro League, but EU is just so stacked that there isn't any room. I think it's a revolving door, and I think EU has always been the dominant region, so they'll always for right now anyway, EU will always be the best region just because they have the better teams to always scrim the lower teams.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, the scrim it's a very common thing on Twitter right now to bag on the Sonics for their scrim behavior, and yeah. So like, there's teams like that still fuck around in scrims and stuff and don't do shit properly. So I don't know. EUCL will always be good because it's just always been the better region. They have more competitive focus as well. Like, not to reiterate what Parker said in his fucking bang on, but like a lot of it rings true. Teams are more concerned with jumping ship and being an individual star than growing and building as a team in NA, and that really holds us back.
There's no team mentality here. Everyone wants to be the superstar, but as you know, Flynn, as a also support player inside of competitive, somebody's got to do the job. Somebody's got to drone somebody in. Somebody has to get the information, and you have to be good at it. And nobody wants to be that. I mean, look at Luminosity.
Not a question, but Bullet 18-2. Holy shit. Yeah, he had a fucking crazy banger of a game. I forget what his CGG rating was, but it was off the charts. And then also not a question, but Johnny Sins confirmed he's Blitz. That's fascinating. Thank you for telling us. Thanks to
Bikini for giving him money, by the way.
Is the honeymoon phase over for Rec? That's a tough question to answer, because I feel like Rec is still good. I kind of have to agree with that maybe the flaws are starting to come through and break through the cracks on the surface right now. Like, this is reciprocity falling off in a way we haven't seen them do it in this full roster. I think one of the biggest problems is they're just not performing well at LANs, and then they have this massive off time. They didn't make it to Raleigh. Obviously, they did really well in fucking Montreal for SI, and that was their first LAN tournament as a full team, and they were coming off the DreamHack Montreal win. But I think not going to a bunch of LANs has hurt them. They didn't play at Allied. They're the only NA team to not play at Allied. They didn't make it to Milan. They played in Valencia, didn't do all that hot. They were so forgettable that I forgot they went there, and I casted the fucking thing.
That was hilarious. I forgot about that.
You know, and then they didn't make it to Raleigh. So, I mean, they're very absent from LANs. They didn't do well in DreamHack Montreal either. I think their lack of participation and quality performance against teams around the world has hurt them, and it's kind of stagnated their evolution. I think they're kind of stuck in a rut right now, and they need to get over it.
All right. I would have to agree with you. I don't want to point fingers, because obviously a lot of people inside of the comp community hate it when we do that. But you know, looking at statistics overall for like the most recent matches, there is obviously like some things that show and go, okay, like this isn't the best right now, but obviously that's just one game. When you're playing best of ones, it's not over a series. And again, somebody has to be the person doing the dirty work. Not everyone can be the all-star fragger. Somebody's got to get it done, and that's still showing inside of the roster. Is just that for me personally, I feel like they finally lost their shine. I feel like they finally lost that main factor of surprise that a lot of teams had in NA, because Reciprocity for a very, very long time was that team that played like Luminosity, where they were literally all over the map. They're in your face. They played that aggressive defensive style all that kind of shit. And people just read them like a book now because they haven't changed much. If you really think about it, even with the pickup of Hopes as a head coach, we haven't really seen them, deviate from that path.
I think one of the best things that I could think could happen for Rec is getting Skies off support. Honestly, I'd like to see Skies and Laxing get back out onto a duo on
that might be it,
entry
honestly.
and roaming roles. I don't know if he has any desire to get off support.
He just loves smoke. That's really it. That's what he said over and over again.
What's not to love? It's the best It's fucking awful. I hate being on smoke, but someone's got to do it, and the rest of my teammates are fucking garbage with the
and
SMG
you're the
11.
only. I was gonna say, let's be honest. You're the only one that can run an SMG 11.
Yeah, really.
So,
there's a running joke amongst our team that Chase is the worst buck in the world. I think he'd be a worse smoke. He just sucks the SMG 11.
He just sucks ass with recoil control. If the gun shoots straight on its own, then he's amazing with it. But if it doesn't, then he's garbage. Chase is fucking great as Valkyrie, but you give him any gun on defense that has any recoil, and the man just instantaneously becomes a silver. It's insane.
He plays with the Alda, so there's some.
It literally just goes back and forth. It's not even hard.
I know the Alda's stupid. He
the
also
Alda's
plays the
dumb.
LD5 every round.
The Alda's so dumb that Chase can use it.
Yeah. There you go. That's my favorite quote.
So much shit,
I hope he does. I hope he DMs you.
He's literally, he is. He's gonna be
so.
"Fuck you, you stupid casting piece of shit," or something like that.
I hope so. He's not that aggressive. He'll just laugh about it. He is also Mr. 0.12 after USM. He literally. So also, I forgot to mention this. My teammate posted the worst CGG rating in North American history in a USN match.
I love it.
0.12.
I fucking love it.
He went 2-11, and those 2 kills were and his headshot percentage, which was 100%.
Because he only got 1 kill?
He got 2 kills, and they were both headshots. One was on a downed player, so, yeah.
All right, so 1 kill.
One kill. That was the only thing saving him. So I DM'd Spencer Spleck, the owner of CGG, and I said, can you do me a fucking huge solid? Can you go back into your archives and find something worse? Is there anything else in the world that is worse? Turns out there was a 0.00 in Season 8 of South Korean Pro League during a 6-0 game.
I'm trying to think if I have ever had a game that was that bad. Legitimately, inside of playing comp. I don't think so. I think my worst ever is I went 1-9 for a victory.
I went so this was back in the CCS in Season 3. They didn't do CGG stats for it, so there's no rating for it. But I was 0-8 at one point. We were on Oregon against. This was back when I was on Powerhouse. I think we were against Impact at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember who we were playing. It was one of the better teams in CCS that season. But yeah, I was 0-8 on Oregon. And then I finally picked up a couple kills near the end. And then after that game, because that was when it was best of 3s.
Mm-hmm.
So that was on Oregon. Second map was Consulate. In between the maps, I literally told the observer, I need a 5-minute break. And he was like, okay, cool. I stood up. I went into my laundry room. I took a hockey stick, and I beat the ever-living fuck out of some cardboard boxes. I came back, and I top fragged the next map. I turned 20 cardboard boxes into paper mache.
Oh, that's such a good one.
Came back and fucking top fragged. So if I'm ever having a bad game in CL and you see me come back with some fucking energy, it's because I went and beat the shit out of something.
Flynn, I swear to God, if I ever cast you at a LAN, I'm bringing a fucking paper box. And if you perform that, I'm just going to walk on stage. I'm going to give you the fucking box, dude.
Yep.
It's going to be like a fucking U-Haul mover box.
Yep.
I swear to God.
I'll tear that shit apart. I'll beat the ever-living shit out of that. All right, next up from Solari. Sorry, Commander Posh, we already answered your question literally 2 seconds ago about Rec. Solari, what do you guys think of some people in the community saying that Dark Zero just always fails on LAN? Well, I guess we're some of those people. And that if they get this LAN spot for Japan, it's just a wasted spot for NA, and other teams
it's not a wasted
deserve
spot.
It more? No, obviously, if you do well in the season, you deserve it more because you beat the system. You're playing within the rules, and you got the spot, and you deserve it. I think when we talk about Dark Zero, it's because they are a young team in terms of LAN experience. This is the first year they've ever had consistent LAN appearances.
Mm-hmm.
And that just takes time to be able to learn how to play under pressure on LAN, and like they will get out of it. They will get over it eventually. But for right now, it's just the constant thing for them that they can't get over this hump on LAN. And it's a problem. It's definitely a problem for them. But it's not like they don't deserve the spot or that it's a wasted spot. Any spot is experience. They will gain more experience by being at the LANs. It's just right now they aren't well equipped to handle playing on LAN in comparison to the other teams that are there.
Yeah, I think as for like future episodes and shit like that, Flynn and I might start doing deep dives just to show you guys like what has transposed with rosters like in the past, because I know like Siege is growing a lot and we're getting a lot of questions about like, hey, I'm newer here, like what went on with this roster, what's this roster like, blah 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 blah. Like per episode, we might just go through like each region and be like, hey, this is a long-standing roster. It's got a lot of veterans on it. Here's how this, got here in the first place. Because if you guys didn't know, if you guys haven't been able to tell by listening to the fucking podcast, Flynn is literally Liquipedia Plus. That is what he is. Like, I did not know that fucking Canadian's previous team was Bibbidi Boobop until the fucking documentary. I guarantee if I asked fucking Flynn, he'd be like, yeah, he left Continuo and formed a roster in Bibbidi Boobop, and now that's Evil Geniuses. Like, I'd have never fucking known. Never fucking known.
So season 1, he played under Mythic with NVK. Season 2, he played on Orbit with Michael. Season 3, it was Biggity Boobop until halfway through the season when they were picked up by Continuum. The owners of Continuum are Smack and Exec. Exec is currently the TSM manager for the R16. And then Continuum got picked up by EG right before Sao Paulo. And then they were EG for Sao Paulo and SI18. And they've been EG ever since.
Welcome to Flynn and Sports, folks.
I was doing this last night. I was at a bar last night with Stuart and Jesse and Alex. And they were like quizzing me on like NHL contracts.
Yeah.
They were like, how much did
no
Mitch
one
Marner
believes me when I
sign for?
tell them that either. It's actually hilarious. No one fucking believes me when I'm like, literally, Flynn knows every contract on the Sun in the NHL. It's literally ridiculous.
They were like, how much did Mitch Marner sign? And before he could finish the sentence, 6 years, 10.893.
What the fuck, dude?
How long was Matthews' extension? 5 years, 11.634.
You're fucking, you're ridiculous.
I
love you, but God bless, dude. Your brain's potential with everything else has been wasted on you knowing dumb sports shit. Like,
yes, 1,000%, 1,000%. I know way too much dumb shit that will never help me in my life.
I mean, I'm in the same fucking boat. Why the fuck do I know so many damage margins on rifles in this game? And then I could actually know something worthwhile.
Yeah, like we could be like curing cancer, but instead we just know dumb shit. Like
instead we know stuff about esports and sports. It's fine.
Yeah. Uzumaki, hey Chris. First off, congrats for winning your first 4 points in CL last night. Thank you. That's 4 more points than Stokes will ever get. You're goddamn right.
Yep.
What are you guys' thoughts on Adventure Force beating Akatsuki? I already went over that, but
that's my thoughts.
It's pretty interesting, and I'm laughing at Talon's pain. Mate, I think is how he told us to pronounce his name. M4773. No, it's a 5-parter. Jesus fuck. Number 1, TSM success at DreamHack. Do you think that it's just the honeymoon phase of the roster when it seems like everything just works and no team really has figured you out? Or is this a sign that team is going to be one of the top tier teams at LANs? I said this in a previous episode, but I definitely think they're going to be one of the premier teams in North America for a long time to come. Honestly, like, just with how young they are. I've said it time and time again. With how young Bolo Merc are, like, in terms of age and in terms of, like, Pro League experience, and same thing with Achieve. He's not young in terms of age, but he's young in terms of Pro League experience. And having Pojo and Jarvis there behind them, who've had plenty of seasons of Pro League behind them to help coach them and grow that talent, that team's going to be fucking disgusting. And Gotcha as a coach as well. That TSM is probably going to be one of the best teams in North America next season in Pro League, and they've already qualified for SI. I already said a couple episodes ago that I was calling my shot 6 months early that they would make it to the main stage of SI. They already made it to the main stage of Raleigh, and I was the only one who gave them the shot of doing it in the predictions. So I'm doing it again. And actually, I'm going to up the ante on that. TSM makes it to the semifinals of SI.
I like it.
Up in the ante. Number 2, what teams do you think what teams, plural, do you think is going to end up in relegation matches? Please fix your grammar. Like I already said in all the other things, I think right now it's looking like Chaos and Penta and EU. LATAM is Elevate, and if MIBR can claw out, then maybe Black Dragons. And then in NA, that's kind of a gong show, but until Slebin and Gonfi come back, that's probably looking like Sonics, and then...
What the fuck does gong show even mean?
Gong show?
Yeah.
I don't know, just like chaos, entropy, pandemonium. It's also a Canadian hockey clothing brand.
So Gong Show basically means like, okay, like it's gonna be like some crazy shit that like you can't pick a side.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And then in NA, Sonics, and then insert team that fucks up. I don't think it'll be TSM. Right now, I don't want it to be Rogue, but it might be. I don't want it to be any team, but like I really don't want it to be Rogue. But it might be. Might be LG if they can fall hard enough, but I don't think they're even gonna fall hard enough to make it to relegations. So you're probably looking at that like bottom 3 list right now of the Sonics, TSM, Rogue, maybe Reciprocity if they don't figure their shit out. But I don't think anyone in NA is getting relegated unless the Sonics can't use Slebin and Gomfi even for the relegation matches. In which case, I think there's plenty of CL teams that could beat them in a best of 3 in their current standing. Gomfi and Slebin, was it an ESL fuck up or a Sonics fuck up? Like I said
Sonics
earlier,
fuck up.
Is mostly Sonics fuck up. A little bit of an ESL fuck up in terms of communication, but mostly Sonics fuck up. It's
we're not trying to put fucking ESL in like inside of a safety net or anything like that just because we work with them, guys. Literally at all. But as Flynn said earlier, bad communication on their end. But on the Sonic side, they knew what was going on. It's just that it's really shitty of ESL to go, oh, hey, by the way, you play your game in 4 hours and they can't play.
That's kind of the shitty part, but everything else is on the Sonics.
Yep.
Number 4, any predictions for the APAC LAN coming up? Like I said, wildcard looked interesting. C9 I have hope for. I think they might be able to turn some things around. Obviously, Fnatic is interesting. I also like how this guy also doesn't know what other South Korean team made it. He said C9 and whatever team made it out behind C9. It was trippy, but like I said, they have no chance. Nora with their new guy, Mavi, I think is his name. I don't know. I'm interested to see how it does. Cyclops looked pretty underwhelming in Raleigh. It's kind of wide open for me. I think it's Fnatic and then fucking Anarchy for the second spot. Mm-hmm. Depends how the bracket goes. Once I see a bracket, I'll be able to give some better predictions. Last one. Thoughts on Elevate picking up X-Red Devils? To me, it feels weird because that team is pretty much guaranteed to play relegation, and I'm doubtful they'll be able to win. Yeah, they won't win the relegation game, and Elevate picking them up is just free exposure for the last half of the season. I don't know why they did it, but hey.
Because, as you said, it's free exposure, and inside of LATAM, you really don't have to play your players that much because it doesn't cost that much to live inside of LATAM.
Very true. Sijakov 16, number 1. How would you go about making a Jaeger alternative? Like, how would he work? So I had this thing way back a long time ago where I said I would like to see a rework to Jaeger in tandem with a new operator to basically spread the responsibilities between the two of them. So I said that the new operator would catch all special utility, and then the old Jaeger, current Jaeger, would catch all like secondary utility. So stuff that's like default in the game, like frag grenades, stun grenades, smoke grenades, Ash Launcher. Well, Ash Launcher is technically a special, but you know what I mean. Like, there's a lot more stuns and a lot more smokes and a lot more frags than there are special utility that gets caught by ADSs. So I would just split it up. So like lifelines and anything that's special, like Ash Launcher, things like that, get caught by the new Jaeger, and then old shit gets caught by the old Jaeger, if that makes sense. The next two I understand if you can't really answer them because they're related to ESL. Number one of point 2. Do you think that because of ESL, it is harder for other tournament organizers to get involved? There's an exclusivity contract that states that ESL has all broadcasting rights, so that's why it's more difficult, because they're legally not allowed. Part 2, if ESL and Ubisoft ended their contract with another, what would you think would happen? Also, what would you like to happen in terms of Pro League? Pro League, I'd like to see go all LAN. Don't know if that's monetarily viable, but that'd be cool. If ESL and Ubisoft ended their contract, then I think the thing that has to go is the exclusivity. That's got to go. We need more tournament organizers coming in and hosting more tournaments and just expanding the game as a whole right now. ESL does a decent job of events, but there's just not enough. Honestly, I want more events.
I feel you. And I mean, if you look at something like CS, like there was just a big scandal, if you guys didn't know, with Valve and Starladder, which is a big CS TO, where they got a few Twitch streamers banned because they said they had complete exclusivity over that broadcast, which is completely untrue. And it's never been that way with any major ever that has been broadcasted by any tournament organizer with Valve. So Valve has to give them permission for the game. Obviously, Valve's the one who created the game. And then what had happened was Star Ladder went around, obviously getting people banned that were rebroadcasting what was going on, which has always been perfectly fine as long as you use their stream. You don't go into the game, or excuse me, as long as you use the in-game thing and display their sponsors, everything is A-okay. And they ended up going, nope. They got a couple big streamers banned. They got Flom banned, if you guys know who that is. He used to be a player for Mythic, but now he's just like a CS streamer. Quite a few other people banned, and it was a big thing. And Valve basically came out and said, hey, like there's no such thing as like exclusivity with this. We want it to be multiple tournament organizers always, blah, 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 blah. I want Rainbow Six to fall in line with the exact same thing. I want things to be handled appropriately, but I still want there to be a central pro league because I like having that, more traditional sport vibe to things where, on a Sunday I can sit down and watch some fucking Rainbow Six. I don't want to have to wait for a LAN every single fucking time for something to happen.
All right. Moving on to Lord Monochrona. Interesting name. Have you guys ever needed to step away from Siege or any other game from fatigue? If so, what brought you back? I've never been fatigued by Siege. I've played this game for a stupid number of hours every single week ever since it came out. I don't know if I'll ever get tired of Siege. It's also because I'm really fucking weird in the fact that I only play one game. Like, I literally play 2 games in my entire life. It's NHL and then Siege. That's my life right now, is in terms of gaming, is NHL.
Was your shooter before Siege COD or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a lot of COD before this, but yeah, Siege has taken over my life, including, and NHL has never left my life. I've never been fatigued on NHL, but those are the only 2 games I ever play. So I'm weird that way. A lot of other people like to play like a lot of different games because they do get burnt out and like playing the same game over and over again. But like, yeesh, I don't know. I love Siege, even though I hate it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, there's been multiple times where I've said, fuck this game, I'm never fucking playing this shit again, blah, 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 blah. But, I mean...
6 hours later, you're playing ranked.
Yep, there's that. And also, I mean, you guys have to look at it from our perspective as well, which is this game legitimately changed our lives. So it's not something where we can be like, yeah, fuck that game. I'm not going to play the new season because fuck the new like, no. Like, even when I'm tired, I will still play Siege because I love the game and it is literally sewn into my fucking life force now that, I'm bound to it. So I love it. I love this game. I'm always going to love this game. But if you're asking like what games I use personally to escape, I'll go back and play Minecraft every once in a while if I feel like chilling. Like me and my friends will just like buy a server and hang out. But there's nothing like crazy where I'm just like, I haven't played Siege for like 3 weeks because of said game. I took like 2 days off, beat Borderlands 3, came right back, started playing Siege again. Like there's games that I love. Like when Halo Infinite comes out, I can tell you right now for a fucking fact, I'm gonna be playing that shit. I'm gonna play the new COD. But I mean, it's always Siege. Siege is the first game where in a competitive environment, I was like, you know what? Because I used to watch esports all the time, Halo, all that kind of shit. I really was like, I want to make a run for this. And, I made that run on console, started playing against like pro teams, doing well against pro teams. And so I was like, oh, hey, like I'm not just, among my friends better at video games. Like I'm actually good at video games, like specifically this one. So this is always going to have a soft spot in my heart. And I'm always, at the end of the day, when I sit down and turn my PC on, Siege is going to be the first thing that's launched. So until it pisses me off, and then I go play Chell.
Basically. It's not Duffman89. Welcome back. What are your thoughts on Navi? Do you think they can make Japan if they keep playing at their current level? We talked about that in the EU segment, but I think Navi is a very damn good team, and I've been very impressed with their performance.
I just love their playstyle, dude. I love it.
We all know that SSG is your NA hill to die on, but what are your hills to die on from other regions? I think Ints right now for LATAM because of VNX, and then in EU, it's still Sisu. I don't give a fuck, man. That is my team to fucking die. I probably will die on that hill, but like that team, like ever since the beginning of the season, has always looked like they've had the potential. Leadership issues, always.
Yeah, and for me, for EU, it's got to be Team Secret. I fucking love those guys. Leon's a really good friend of mine. Actually, that entire roster, really good friends of mine. I don't know Farrell that well, but Funkers, Leon, all of them, they're fucking great. Love those guys. Love seeing them perform well. And then for LATAM, I would say Liquid because Nusk is one of my favorite players of all time. So
Smoothie. Hey guys, congrats to Flynn on being ass for all of Villa, but getting the one kill that mattered.
Love it.
I went 5 and 8. What? The support? What? Okay.
What's it like? Yeah, dude. What's it like to play support and not get any kills, Flynn? God.
I got 5. Fuck off. Anyway, unfortunately, I got timed out on the stream for making jokes about how dead you were, or how you were as dead as your dad in a 1v3. That was such an unfortunate situation. Oh, I hit Beastly in his fucking shoulder with a shotgun too. I could have had that. Anyway, just one question today. What do you guys think about Adventure Force? I already went over it. They're interesting. I'm looking forward to playing them. We beat them in the quals, but obviously a very different team now than they were back then. I like to pick up a Euphoria. Euphoria's always been a cool guy, and I think he's a damn good player.
Never played against him.
He's a cool guy. I met him at the Canadian Nationals LAN last year.
Nice, dude. That's sick.
Big Yikes TM. Number 1, biggest potential CL upsets, all regions. Us in NA. Upsets, probably Trust in EU. And then, I don't know, LATAM CL.
As open possibly gets.
Yeah. Number 2, do you think Kekona Kapteri can still compete? I mean, maybe. It seems like they've been overshadowed by a lot of the teams in EUCL right now, just because of the nature of them going to majors and doing well. I still think EUCL is stacked. I don't think there's any team in EUCL that can't compete. I just think they're overshadowed right now in terms of coverage. Recency bias will do that to anyone. Damp Seagulls. What a fucking name. One of the most iconic plays in Siege, and why do you think TSM is back to being ass in Pro League? Most iconic plays in Siege? I mean, you're probably talking like year 1, year 2 shit, so like the Necrox flank on bank to win Season 3. It wasn't even really that great of a play. It's just because of the call that Parker had after it, but winning SI 18, Pengu's double kill, and the 1v2 on the kitchen attempted defuse and coast. Other iconic plays?
Joysticks, diffuse denial on
Oh
bank.
yeah, that's
who is that against?
That was in Challenger League. That would have been against Ents.
No, that was during. Yeah, that was for relegation.
Yeah, that was that was Challenger League playoffs, the seeding match.
Yeah, that's when I legitimately thought that he was hacking. I was like, holy fucking shit, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
That's when everyone was like, this is the most sus shit I've ever seen in my life. But I mean, we all know now that Joysticks just got it like that. So
yeah, I think there's been some crazy plays in Siege, but I don't think there's like iconic plays.
1v5 on Oregon.
Yeah. It's a lot of year 1 shit though. I think the game has gotten much more team oriented. So like 2v5s are pretty massive, but you never see someone like completely 1v5 unless it's just like a complete.
Well, I don't even think it's that. I think there is some where like you're just like, holy fucking shit, I can't believe that this dude just hit this shot. You know what I mean? Like, we've got some pretty nutty aimers. Like watching Kanto come up, holy fuck, dude. Like Kanto's got an entire career of just highlights.
I think if that Bolo Ace at DreamHack had been in a major, that definitely would have been one. But because it was at a minor, it's less regarded as like iconic. It's still fucking impressive. But yeah.
I would say another one that probably just like shook the foundation of Siege and like literally just blew up everything that's been very recent was BDS beating G2 at DreamHack. Just because of how much you saw the mentality of G2 change up, it was truly something to behold.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like individual plays though.
Yeah.
Like, you know how there's literally like signs posted on maps in CSGO of like simples dropping no scope, like shit like that, right?
Yep.
I don't even follow CSGO.
Who the fuck is it? It's oh my god. Cold Zera's no scope op on White Van on Mirage.
Yeah. There's a lot of iconic ones in CSGO.
I hope it was Cold Zera.
Why do you think TSM is back to being ass in Pro League? I think they're still struggling with BO1s, man.
Welcome to the best of 1 format, friend.
Yeah, I think they like best of 3s.
Legitimately, Shrug has a chance at beating G2 in a best of 1.
Yeah,
like that's how Siege goes. Yep. Like I'm like
BO1s are interesting.
I'm just gonna use it. It's any given Sunday. Like that's literally how Siege goes. Yeah. You can fucking stat out of your fucking mind. You can strat out of your mind. But if you're not playing well, you're not playing well. And if they're playing well, you're gonna lose.
All right, Dunelm 1. What do you think about draws in Siege? Fucking hate them. Fucking hate them. I wish there was overtime.
Yep.
What do you guys think about franchising in Siege and if it'll be good for the game? No.
Not right now.
There's no franchise model right now that's making money for teams. Siege
Nope.
is the only esport right now that is actually making money for orgs in terms of like the revenue sharing and the pilot program. Like franchising right now is a huge immediate loss to a lot of these companies who have to get like investor funding just to put up the price tag to be able to get in. And they're still losing money at the end of the day. Like
I got this one. Don't worry. Trust watch. So if you guys don't follow CS at all, or excuse me, if you guys don't follow Call of Duty at all, then you're first things first, you're kind of missing out. You probably are going to recognize a couple of these names that I'm going to use from just prior organizations. And, you know, when you were a younger kid, yada, yada, yada. So let's get down to the actual brass tacks here. Okay. So Call of Duty is going into franchising. Teams are already being divided into what are going to be teams: Chicago, LA, yada, yada, yada.
Toronto got a city.
Yep, Toronto got one. But here's the issue. There's a person that is a very, very long-standing Call of Duty representative. His name is Nadeshot. Used to be a prior player for Optic. And as well as Optic have all opted out of having Call of Duty teams. And here's a couple of reasons why. Immortals now owns Optic. If you guys didn't know, that entire organization's basically dissolved and they're just liquidating it and just using it for money at this point. Nadeshot now runs 100 Thieves. It's been long-standing for about a year now. A very big clothing brand, as well as just esports in general is what they're in. They have a team in the LCS, which is League of Legends, as well as I believe they still have a CS team, and they have some Fortnite players. But they had a COD team for a very long time. It was one of my favorite Call of Duty teams because they had my favorite player to ever play the game on there, which is Kenny. Kenny's a fucking awesome dude. I love watching Kenny play because he mimics a lot of what I used to do when I played Call of Duty, so I enjoy watching him. With that roster, 100 Thieves was looking into, obviously, going into franchising. Issue is, though, that every single one of the spots for a franchise Call of Duty team is a whopping $25 million. And an esport that is dying.
I'm pretty sure it was 40 for a team slot and 20 for press.
Was it $40 million? I think Overwatch
That's what
was $25 million. Here,
Yeah,
let me grab the numbers. But anyways,
yeah.
we'll
Anyway, it's a
ballpark the
lot of
numbers
money.
right now.
It's
Anyways,
a lot of money.
A load of money. I'll get them. I'll get the numbers up here in just 1 second while I'm talking. So Nadeshot, after trying every single avenue he could possibly do, you know, crowdfunding, everything that he could possibly do, you know, going to investors, what have you. Turns out he could not get a spot inside of the Call of Duty franchise league because the price was so steep that it would actually put the organization that he'd spent an entire year building, that everyone has on this pedestal of, oh my God, 100 Thieves is amazing. They treat their players well. They do all these things right. It would put that organization at jeopardy just because of one purchase of a franchised team. That's how much it costs to get into Call of Duty. That's why franchising is not, you know, everything right now. It's not at that level yet. It's not. I love esports. It's one of the most watched things in the fucking world now, and it's amazing. I love it, and I love that it's getting to this point now because I want to do this for the rest of my life. I want to work in video games. I want to work in esports. I think it's amazing, and I can't wait for what we go to next. But I do not think that this is what needs to happen for Siege. I think Siege is perfect where it's at right now. We're growing. We're getting more viewers. The only thing that needs to come next for Rainbow Six Siege is better viewership and a better viewer experience. And the better viewer experience is a thing that needs to happen. It needs to be taken by the reins of Ubisoft, get a better spectator system, get everything in here to where someone that's brand new that just comes off of a Twitch page, clicks on Rainbow Six and goes, hey, this game kind of looks cool. I like Halo or Call of Duty. What's this all about? They don't go, what in the fuck is happening? They go, oh, hey, that's pretty cool. This guy did this. I understand that. When you go watch CS and someone dies, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. But when you watch this, you're like, okay, what the fuck? This guy set down a fucking pack of like armor shit, and I guess like that does this, and then this guy's got some like balls that shoot lasers. What the fuck, you know? And it's all about viewer experience, and that's something that as casters is still very difficult for us because we have so much information to portray to you guys that we kind of have to go, okay, what's the best avenue to try and highlight this round of just hitting the high points and then moving on? Because if anybody has ever watched anyone do a VOD review, it's a 4-hour process for one map. It's a 4-hour process of breaking down why this person did this, why this operator is being used like this, yada, yada, yada. It's a very difficult game to portray what's going on in, which is fucking great for the amount of viewers that we have. Like it's truly a spectacle that we, you know, get fucking 500,000 viewers for SI and all that kind of shit because this game is hard as fuck to watch. If you don't play it and you haven't, put 10 hours at least in every operator to understand how they work and how they're supposed to be played, you are going to be lost in the sauce, brother. That's all I can tell you. And I really hope that Ubisoft is trying their damnedest right now to help improve that to where people that are new to the game, just bought the game, on discount or whatever, buy it, go to watch, and can understand what's going on in the game.
Okay, moving on.
You have any words on that at all? No, none?
No, I agree with basically everything you said.
All right.
How do you feel that quality of support from orgs compares to other games? So you're asking like what the org support in Siege is versus other games? I think it's incredible. I mean, there's been some bad orgs in the past, but for the most part, all the orgs now understand. They
Spot's priced at $25 million, by the way, for COD, so I was correct.
Okay. I heard 40 mil when we were in Raleigh, so that number just kind of stuck in my head, but yeah. Oh well. Yeah, so I think a lot of the orgs that have come in now and have been in the pilot program and have seen the way that the fan base cares about their teams, understands that if they're not going to take care of their teams, they're not going to get very far. So I think there's been a huge step up over the last 365 days or so of how well organizations have treated their players and taken care of them. I mean, you see there's 3 team houses or team groupings anyway in Vegas right now. There's a team house from Dark Zero in Vegas, or not in Vegas, sorry, in Houston. There's orgs that are actually dumping money in to actually help and better their teams and help grow them. Not only as players, but as individuals, as young men just trying to come up in the world and adjust to adulting. Mm-hmm. So I think there's been a market change so far over the last year or so in terms of orgs supporting their teams. Like last year, we had some scandals, and we had some teams not paying money, and we had some teams not supporting their teams in terms of visibility, advertising, gaming, sponsors, all that shit. But it's definitely turned around in the last year. I think we're definitely at a point now where orgs getting into the game understand that taking care of your players is
a massive deal.
Yeah, is of the utmost importance to not only Ubisoft, but to the players themselves.
And shout out to Stuart and the rest of the esports guys for getting that to go inside of the game. That's a massive thing that our esports department at Ubisoft did. And it's fucking awesome. It's extremely impressive. It's helped out the esport quite a bit, as well as what Flynn said. It makes it to where people actually get to live comfortably. It's not, LG picks up the roster and goes, okay, yeah, we really don't need to do anything. We have a roster. If they win something, we take their money and fuck you. Like that's not how it is. The reason that you're seeing people get team houses and all that stuff is because it's better when they go to, Ubisoft and go, hey, we won in the pilot program. Here's our I'm trying to think of the word. When you're going in for a job, what's the word I'm looking for here?
Interview?
No, not interview, but what do you hand them?
Resume?
Yeah, here's like here's our resume of what we're doing for our team. Here's all this kind of shit. Here's basically what we will do for them in the future, yada yada yada, their payment, all that. It helps out a lot. And vice versa, it helps out the players a lot, because instead of them having to go, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make my fucking car payment next week because my org hasn't paid me. They pay on time, because all of that shit, when Ubisoft goes and looks and goes, they haven't missed a payment, they pay them on X day every single month. They get this amount. They're in a team house, yada, yada, yada. It's good for them. That's exactly what it is. It's good for them, which means it's good for the players. And it's going to continue to be that way, all because Ubisoft said, hey, we'll do this, but we want to make sure that you're holding up your end of the bargain, which is fucking great.
All right, moving on. Hammy 9000. Love the podcast, especially Flynn's Tinder Safari. Lol. Sorry to let you down about the Tinder Safari this week, but yeah, I've been locked down on focus for game days and scrims and practices and stuff.
Only thing he's fucking is Siege and his opponents.
Basically.
And his hand.
Should Ubisoft/ESL work on getting bigger venues for major Siege events? Seems like they always sell out in a matter of days, or would this drive the ticket price up too much?
The ticket price would go down-ish.
Oh, well, no, because you got to cover the cost of renting out a bigger place. So
yeah, that's true. That's true.
So my thing with events and stuff is they sell out, but like
they never seem full.
Yeah,
ever.
They never seem full. Like SI seemed empty, man, and that was like we were only using like 5,000 seats at the Bell Center, or not the Bell Center, Place Bell.
Yeah, and it was sold out.
Yeah, it was allegedly sold out. And then same thing for Raleigh. You know, Raleigh was a big crowd. It was deceptively small on camera, but it was a big crowd.
Oh, dude, it
Deeper
was
in the
huge.
back.
That place was huge.
Yeah. And I don't think Raleigh sold out all that quick. I mean, Raleigh tickets were available for a while, and they even flooded more in later. I think the venue size right now is fine where it's at.
Where the fuck did this guy go?
I think spectating live for Siege is something that people just aren't all that interested in right now. And I don't really know why. And I don't know why I have that feeling. Like, I don't have any numbers to back that up on. Like, I just, it's a feeling that I have anyway. When I go out to the events and I cast them and I see the crowd and stuff, like, I don't know. It just seems like the crowd is a little less interested in the games than I see from other events. But that's also me comparing it to something like baseball or football or hockey, where, like, you've been a diehard fan of that team for like 20 years versus
and they're finally doing well, or
yeah, you know, you've been through some pain, you've been through a roller coaster, they're winning a lot of things versus Siege where it's like the biggest like bandwagon you get on would be G2 or Empire right now, and that's only been like a year long for each of them, so, or a couple of years for G2. So I don't know. I think the venue size is fine for right now. I think having a bigger, emptier venue would suck more than having a smaller, fuller venue, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I will say this just about, viewership and everything else along those lines, Flynn. I really feel as though with our current crowds and everything else, they're just going to continue to develop as we get more and more electric personalities in. Because if you really think about it overall, even like look at Team Empire. When Joystick does some shit, like he isn't that I'm going to let you know guy. He's like, oh yeah, I did the thing. Like you're not going to see an ounce of emotion on their face. But the person that gives the most amount of emotion out of that entire team is Dan. Because like Dan's just here for like he does some shit. He's fucking raising his hands up like, hey, make some fucking noise in here. Like, yeah. You know what I mean? We don't really have those inside of Siege yet. Like CS, fucking Stewie does something. Stewie's going to fucking let you know about it. Like he's going to shoot your body. He's going to fucking throw his hands up in the air. He's going to let you know what he just did. The only person that we really have inside of Siege that will let you fucking know is Troy. That's it. Like if you can name one other person that when they do something on LAN, they're like, yo, like, yeah, let's get this fucking shit going. You know what I mean? I really can't name one right now. I really can't. Now it might be, a lot more talent is coming in and they're a lot newer. So you really don't get that vibe off of them yet because they're like, okay, I'm still in my box. I'm just doing my thing. You know what I mean? I'm doing my thing. We're winning games. That's all I really care about. They're not, outroverted yet inside of that environment where they're like, you know what? I can get the fucking crowd into this. And if we have the crowd on our side, we fucking win this. That's a huge thing in traditional sports where if we're at somebody else's home territory, we got to take the crowd out of it. If we're home, we got to keep the crowd in it. We don't have that yet.
It's very fair. So, up next was for Flynn. Is playing in CL a stressful or a fun experience? So fucking fun. Are you kidding me? Jesus Christ. Like, there's no better feeling than competing in this game.
Let's be honest. He only did it so he could have something up on me because I beat him in peaks.
Honestly, like, there's nothing more fun than competing in this game, man. Like, I've been a competitive person since the day I was born, and being able to compete again and actually play on game day and feel that kind of energy, like, it's not even nervousness, it's just excitement. Like, I was looking at the schedule today, and I was like, oh my god, it's Sunday, and we don't play again until Friday. I'm pissed that we don't play again until Friday. I want game day to be tomorrow. I want game day to be right fucking now. I want to be playing games every day, man.
You want me to be completely honest?
What?
I'm jealous as fuck of you. I really am, dude. Because like I miss that. I miss being like, yo, dude, it's fucking game day. Like I wake up, the moment my fucking eyes open, I'm like, yo, bro, where's the fucking coffee? We're gonna go out. We're gonna fucking, get some push-ups going, get the blood flowing. It's fucking game day. About to rock these kids. I don't give a fuck. Like I miss that shit. I really do. And the only time that I ever get that is when I'm at LAN. I'm the first one awake in the morning. Like literally when we go to LANs, like traditionally speaking, I'll be up at like fucking 6 a.m. I'll go down, eat, go back up, go back to sleep, then wake up again. And I'm like, okay, like we're good to go. Like I already ate breakfast. I've showered. Like I lay my suit out like it's the first day of school, like everything. I'm a fucking kid in a candy store.
I am the last person awake.
Yeah, mainly because you never fucking wake up on time, Flynn.
Never,
you fuck.
Never. It's amazing. I
will say one thing though, dude. I really, really, really hope like at SI or something, we finally get casters versus coaches because I want to fucking dirt Gotcha so bad.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. I want to fucking fry him, dude. Oh,
Yeah,
he's so good.
CL is not stressful. It's bliss. It's fucking. I'd never want to stop playing in games. Like game day is just my favorite fucking moment. Like when we're scrimming all week, every single fucking day.
And dry running, the most boring
Yeah.
fucking thing on the planet, but you're trying to fucking pay attention.
Yeah, like when we're grinding and getting ready for games, and that's all we've been doing ever since quals. But like now that we finally had some games in, all I want to do is be back on game day, man. Every round matters. You can't take a single second off. Like when you scrim for a month straight and you never have anything to play for, the scrims start blending into each other. You start fucking nodding off a little bit and fucking not caring as much about the scrim and not worrying about like improving yourself and reading the take and helping the team. Like, bro, for the last week, I don't think I've gotten on cams in a scrim. I just haven't. Like, it's just it doesn't feel the same. But now that like we've actually had game days in and we feel pretty good about ourselves, and there's things we need to work on, obviously, but like, fuck, man, like this week of scrims better be everyone at 120%, because that's how I'm feeling right now. Like, I just want to get back to game day and I want to keep competing and I just want to win, man. I just want to fucking win.
Fun, buddy.
That's all I want to do is just win every fucking game. That's all I care about right now. So it's definitely not stressful. It's heavenly. It's an escape from the fucking world. It is the best feeling in the entire world.
Yep. There's truly nothing better than being on that game day and you're just in the fucking zone. And when you get that, for instance, I know for a fucking fact, when you hit that shot on acid on Villa, right when you fucking pounded that desk and you fucking stopped and were like, let's go, both of your fucking hands were shaking from adrenaline. 100%. 100%. That's the fucking feeling of just competition and being like, I achieved something. It feels fucking amazing. So I'm glad you're back, man. It's good. I'm hoping that you guys have a good CL season. Hopefully you don't make pro league, because then who the fuck else is going to cash shit? But whatever.
Last question from Hami. Do you ever see CG Sports become as big or even bigger than CS:GO? Doubtful. Maybe we'll get like on a parallel with them, but I don't think we'll ever overcome them for a lot of the reasons that Sam just mentioned a couple questions
The only
ago,
way we overcome them is as this game becomes easier to watch. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, like,
if this game becomes easy to watch, then all of a sudden, you don't have to, answer the questions in chat and all that shit of like, hey, I'm new here. What does Sledge do?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's perfectly fine to have those, just like not knowing operators, but it's very difficult to explain, like when people obviously are in chat like, oh, this team fucking sucks, blah 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 blah. Every single person in that lobby that's playing right now is 10 times better than you will ever be at this game. That's just,
well, I mean, that's a thing in fucking
how it is,
every esport and every sport in general. Like,
yeah, it's just like it's really hard right now to portray like the full story, and that's something that like I'm personally working on, is storytelling. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, over the last couple of days, I've legitimately been doing research like on people, not just, hey, this team's good. Like I know what team's good, I know what team's not good, I know rosters and shit, but I'm doing research on like, where did Nesk come from? Okay, Nesk came from X, Y, and Z. Like what did he do prior? How long has he been doing this? Everything. I've been doing all of that, trying to go, okay, like when I do cast, how do I tell the story? Besides, hey, this team beat them like 2 years ago. Oh, hey, they might have a rivalry. Like, it's much better going like, here is from start to finish what's been going on. This is how much this means to this person. Because like, for instance, with traditional sports, we'll go back. If we'll pick a quarterback we'll pick Patrick Mahomes. Okay. Everyone knows Patrick Mahomes. The dude's fucking insane. All right. Patrick Mahomes is from Texas. In high school, he was averaging 40 fucking points a game as a quarterback, which is ridiculous. And then he went to Texas Tech in college and was racking up still a stupid amount of points to where they were losing games like 68-60. And Patrick Mahomes would have like 6 touchdown passes and like 400 yards. Like ridiculous stuff. And then he comes to the NFL and he just keeps doing it all over and over again. And people are like, this guy came out of the woodwork. No, he didn't. He was doing this since high school and he never stopped. Stuff like that. It builds a story, and it's stuff that you come to expect. People, when Liquid play, they expect Next to be the Ash Yeager man that doesn't miss. So I'm trying to do a better job of, being able to storytell and everything. And I think that that's just something overall that Siege needs to get better at, is storytelling. What's the story of this round? Why did this person not do that? You know, it's something of a mental checklist for us right now as casters that we have to keep track of everything in our heads. Because at the end of the day, do I really know how many Smoke has left? How many toxic babes does he have? I don't know. We haven't been on him for 2 minutes. Okay, well, I heard one pop earlier. Or was that Jackal throwing his smoke down? Stuff like that is stuff that we like. You have to mentally checklist down, and that's why a lot of the times, even inside of Flynn's casting, Flynn again has a great memory for this kind of shit. It's a little bit more difficult. It's a little bit difficult for me because I have really, really bad memory sometimes for that kind of shit. So I won't touch on it nearly as much. But even for Flynn, was something that has great memory for fucking random shit. You know, you when they flip over to smoke, you're like, okay, there's 30 seconds left. He used the smoke earlier. I have no idea where the fuck he used it, but he used it.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult stuff like that I want to see changed. It needs to be changed because if it changes, all of a sudden we have an arguably #1 esport in the entire world.
It would be nice. On to Kilroy22. How many questions do we have? 1, 2, 3,
Enough.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, lovely. Kilroy, 4-parter, because of course you guys love your 4-parters. Nice CL game, Flynn. Sorry you guys couldn't get the dub, but you guys still played great, and welcome back from Dallas Stokes. Thank you. Number 1, with Obey and Elevate getting back into Siege, do you think this will open up the possibility for other old orgs coming back like SK, or do you think Obey will just pull out if they fail to make Pro League and Pilot? I have no idea what the intentions of Obey are, because they were in for a while and they actually cared. When they had their Pro League team, they actually cared. They tweeted out the games every time.
Yada, yada.
Yeah, they got them team apartments. I mean, like there was
No, they got a team
lot.
house. Obey did. They had one inside of they had one in Austin, Texas.
No, that was apartments. Obey was apartments.
The pictures did not look like an apartment. That's all
it
I'm
was like
say.
an apartment complex, but it had like a pool and shit out front and all that shit. I know the pictures you're talking about. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right.
Regardless, they got them team housing situation. And they really did care about the team. So if they see a lot of faith in this CL team and they make it to Pro League, then I think they'll stick around. But I think for the meantime, Challenge League doesn't have the kind of exposure to warrant an org like Obey coming in. Obviously, there's more orgs to come into CL still. So we'll see how that changes and see if the visibility gets any better. I hate to fucking stroke my own cock on this, but someone with a larger following like myself participating as well helps. There's more people who will either come to watch and see how I do, or to specifically come and try and watch me lose.
And heckle Flynn, because like half of the chat was heckling Flynn, and it was beautiful.
I actually got a DM in the middle of the game. I didn't see it until after, but apparently I was 0-3 on Consulate, and then people were like, oh, Flynn's trash, Flynn's trash, Flynn's trash, and then I got a 4K that round. They were like, he heard us. He heard us. What the fuck? He heard us. I was so fucking mad. Cloud stole my ace. Whatever. That actually would have been the first ace of...
well, at least you stood on your dick this time.
Yeah. And no, I made Chase stand on my dick. Cloud will never stand on my foreskin. He just, I don't know. He's scared of my foreskin, I guess. Like, it's just...
Can you explain that for people that don't understand?
Okay, so basically we were playing PG in the third qualifier in the grand finals to make it into Challenger League. It was a best of 1, and then they changed it best of 3s next week because Lamau. But anyway, we were playing on Clubhouse, and we were attacking Gym Bedroom. It was me and Cloud in a 2v1, and Cloud is getting a wrong call that that the last guy remaining is the Cade, and he's downstairs in bar. Makes kind of sense because Cade might have a nitro cell, and he could nitro the plant from down below. Okay, cool. So I'm sticking the plant. There's 2 seconds left when I start the plant in the round. Plant goes into the overtime, and fucking the Cade walks out of the bathroom, like gym bedroom bathroom, and just looks at me dead in the face. I'm planning by like the logistics rotate by the main stairs door to bedroom, and he kills me, and the round ends. And then I look up, and I'm like, oh, where's Cloud? Oh, he's down main stairs. So instead of just holding the angle and like looking down main stairs, but standing on me for a refrag, he's off in fucking Narnia. So after that, I just screamed at him, Cloud, you need to stand on my foreskin and cover me if I'm planting. Just stand on my foreskin. Get your foot inside my penis hole and stand on it and cover me like a man. So yeah, that's how that story came out. Number 2, Flynn, what the hell's with that mouse under keyboard thing? It's just the way I learned how to play. It helps. I don't know. It's what I do. If you're getting gunned by it, you're still shit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I also play at like a weirdly fucked up angle. I like my elbow being on the table. I don't play completely like 90 degree like Flynn does, but my hands are actually both like tilted at each other. I actually play with like part of my like keyboard on my mouse pad. So I play very close to the chest.
Yeah,
So,
my keyboard's on my
everyone's
mouse
got their
pad.
thing,
My mouse
man.
pad's massive.
Yeah, everyone's got their thing, man. Like, again, if you're losing to it, that's on you.
That's on you, bud. Number 3, who do you realistically see making it to Japan for the season finals? Already answered that. And who do you see making through the online invite quals? God only knows, because we don't know how many spots are up for invite quals yet. So I'll save that one for another time. Number 4, do either of you play Tarkov? I don't. Sam was just talking about Tarkov before we started.
Yeah, I haven't played in a very, very long time. I probably have like 10 hours on it. So
yeah, I don't play Tarkov. Keep up the good shit on the podcast. Keeps me sane on my long drives to work and school. Well, lucky for you, we're already at 2 hours and 34 minutes, and we still have 7 questions to go. And thank you, Stokes, for letting my girlfriend name her shark after you.
She painted a shark, and she asked if she could name it Stokes, and I said yes.
Interesting. And then someone responded that saying SK didn't play their players, so they shouldn't come back. That's very true. But another org that I would like to see come back that also cared a lot about their players, ironically, was the org before Obey as well. Anyway, CLG. CLG was an org that cared.
Oh, dude, Counterlogic Gaming. I love that org. They're fucking great. They're good stuff.
CLG was great for the scene. They cared a lot, but their team got relegated and disbanded and all that shit. So,
let's be better next time, Forehead.
I'd like to see CLG come back. I just think with their previous experience, they're just a little sour on it and don't want to.
If the right roster comes around, like if it's another I don't know situation, then they're definitely going to come back because they definitely have the money and the motivation to do so. So, because if you guys didn't know this, Rainbow Six is kind of growing. So, you know.
All right, Freeze. What up, guys? Answer what you want to. Mad support and love for you guys. Thanks so much for what y'all do. Number 1, Flynn, does competing at this level come with any extra stress? Already answered that. Fuck no. It's beautiful. I love it. Number 2, though G2 is performing well and should win their last 2 games, unless Empire loses another game or ties, they really can't make it to Japan. We went over that. They actually can make Japan pretty easily. They're going to make Japan. Number 3, will the Giants' online performance ever translate to LAN? Probably a Dark Zero situation where they need a couple more cracks at it. Do they need a sports psychologist like many teams we talked about before? I don't know. Experience trumps all. Number 4, is EG's performance since losing Canadian surprising? To me, kind of, but Mo's been insane.
Yeah, honestly, did not surprise me at all with Mo. I've watched the kid compete for a very, very long time. Mo's a good friend of mine. He's always been just fucking disgusting, and he's somebody that was originally on PC. If you guys ever watch him stream at all, the guy's level like 430. So he's played Siege since the very beginning and has a shitload of hours in the game. If he wasn't good at the game, I would literally laugh and be like, "You're level 430 and like fucking gold 2." Like, so. You know, like he understands when to take gunfights, when not to take gunfights. He's got really good aim. What else could you possibly want from someone you're just going to have play Zofia the entire time?
Number 5, what are the odds y'all play some form of bet on CL? Example, Shrug wins Challenger League or Flynn gets an ace, and then Stokes buys Flynn a pizza and beer. I don't think I'm allowed to do that. I think there's something in our NDA that doesn't let us do that. I don't think we're allowed to bet anything on our games. So, yeah.
Oh, definitely not publicly.
Yeah.
I'll be like, if Cloud ever decides to stand on your foreskin, I'll send you a fucking Domino's pizza. Like,
there you go.
And then the next game, like the very first round, Flynn will be like, stand on my fucking foreskin.
I need a
pizza, bitch.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I'm just reading through some shit, sorry. Okay, Horsefly242. Hey, guys, I have a few questions, if that's fine. I mean, it's the fucking Q&A section. Just answer or ask your goddamn questions already.
Ask your fucking question.
Would you be in favor of dropping ESL as a tournament organizer? If so, who would take over, or would you make their own league? I'm not going to touch that, actually, because we've already talked about a lot of it, and there's some other things that I don't really want to give my opinion on. What do you think is going to happen with Parker? Is he going to be Milos Kicks and Emzo, or is a 4th guy going to cast? Maybe one of the USN guys. Not talking about it. You will guys we'll have an update soon.
You guys will literally, what's today, Sunday? You guys will already know tomorrow. Yeah.
There you go. What are your thoughts on the stuff with Slebin and Gonfi? Been over it. Also, congrats, Flynn, on the win in CL against Rise. Thank you. Yeah. We won and true. It's a weird situation. Anyway. Kilroy, what is your guys' women's CCS league? Now that they're
what are your thoughts on a women's CCS league?
It's cool. I was excited to watch it. I watched a few of the games, and now I'm realizing I don't know a lot of these people. So now I feel lost. It's kind of like watching a new sport you've never seen before. Like if you try to go like watch the Olympics and you try to watch like competitive bobsledding or something, it's really fun for like 30 minutes when you're like, yeah. And then you realize you don't know what the fuck's going on, and then you're like, oh, this is hard to watch. So I'm happy that the league exists, and I'm happy there's people that I'm remote friends with that are doing well. But I don't know. I don't pay attention to it all that much. Yeah, especially the EU scene. Like I know way more NA players than I do EU players.
I think that's gonna be the same for both of us, though.
Yeah, repulsive. Number 1 for each region. Who do you think will get? Been over that. Number 2, what is your ideal lineup for Japan? And in both your opinions, who do you want to see play in the grand finals with those predictions? I don't know. Depends what they do for the bracket, because the bracket will be randomly seeded. So there's actually not a great way to predict that until the end of the season.
Things are crazy. G2 to Japan. That's all I'm saying.
G2 to Japan. You devastated boy. I remember you telling me to call you something else, but I don't remember it, so you're stuck with that name from now on. Now that we have seen TSM and BO1 play days, do you think that this current roster will be enough to pull out of the relegation spots that they currently find themselves facing? Yes. Also, do you think if Slibin and Gumphy are allowed to play midway through the second half when their visas are set, the Sonics will be able to pull out of 8th place? Probably not. They're taking a lot of L's right now. Chaos Panda 6969, number 1, do you think G2 will make Milan? They didn't already make Milan, but I think you mean Japan, and yes, we already went over that. Yeah, we went over the whole G2 thing. How do you feel about the new BO2 system in CL? Is that better or worse or the same compared to BO1's? So the CL thing is weird. We looked at the schedule when it was given to us, and we kind of just like flinched at it because it was new. I think there are two things. There's like a positive side and a negative side for it. So the positive side is that you get your tiebreaker set out of the way immediately. You never have to debate. You never have to wonder like, oh, will we have the tiebreak at the end of the season? Now we know that we have the tiebreak over Rise 13-11 for the rest of the season. And we never have to play them again.
Yep. That
also benefits us because now we can have a scrim partner that we know we don't have to play for the rest of the season that's also in Challenger League. Because when you're in Challenger League, the quals have just ended, so all T3 teams have exploded. And Pro League teams like to scrim other Pro League teams for the most part, but you know, we've had quite a few pro scrims lately, but I mean, it's hard finding other teams to consistently scrim and fill out the schedule with. So it helps us actually find other teams to be able to scrim and improve with, because we don't have to worry about them and they don't have to worry about us for the rest of the season. The bad part of it is that with a team like Adventure Force, even though they just beat Akatsuki and tied them, I don't know, I'm kind of thinking like, I'd like to play, you know, a fresh team that doesn't have a whole lot of strats early, because that seems like a free win, versus giving them 7 weeks to build strats and gain experience and learn from other teams, and then we have to play them in a better form. Yeah. The other good thing about it, though, is that you don't have to prep for 2 teams simultaneously. You can only prep for 1 team on 2 maps, and you're good. The weird thing is how the map pool works. So if you guys don't understand how the map banning thing in CL works with this shit, is whatever maps were played in game 1 of the last week are banned in game 1 for you, and then whatever maps were played in game 2 of the last week are banned in game 2 for you. So for instance,
that's weird.
It is. So for instance, this week, game 1 for Two-Faced was on Clubhouse against Disrupt, and game 2 was on Villa. For us, Villa was game 1 against Rise, and Consulate was game 2 against Rise. So this week, for our game, we have 0 Villa opportunity in games 1 or 2, but Clubhouse...
So you do 2 banning phases?
2 separate banning phases for each best of 1.
That's fucking weird.
It's weird. So we lose Villa and Club for game 1, and then we lose Villa and Cons for game 2. And then we have to do separate bans for each of them. So you can kind of like narrow down in your mind what kind of maps you want to play, what maps you don't want to play against a team, and you can VOD review them.
So Flynn is going to play. Let's see. Flynn's going to play.
I mean, whatever you say, I'm just going to say I can't confirm or deny.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just trying to think overall. I think Flynn's going to play Border. And I think Flynn is also going to play. What were the maps that are gone? Consulate and Villa?
For map 2, yes.
And then what was the other ones?
Club and Villa.
Okay. So I'm going to say, oh, no. It's going to be Coastline, and then it's going to be Coastline into Clubhouse. That's what it's going to be.
I cannot confirm nor deny.
I'm really feeling it. Really feeling it.
You're not gonna say anything.
By the way, just to preface this, I have absolutely no knowledge, and if I did, I definitely would not make that prediction because I'm not a cuck. So
no, it's all good. Is that better or worse or the same compared to the best of ones? It's different. I don't know how to say if it's better or worse. There's upsides and there's downsides. Opinions on hashtag let them play. That's literally in the rulebook. No.
yeah.
Number 4, what do you think about C9 and how far back South Korea is in R6 esports? They literally don't even have 8 teams in their pro league region. They have 4. That's problematic. Cloud9, I hope does well. They look like obviously the best team in South Korea. They need more teams. They need more teams and more players.
Yep.
And then the last fucking question. Gopus, which guns would you guys like to see reused on the next operators?
2 armor, 2 speed on offense with an R4C and ACOG. And I'll never lose a gunfight. Ever.
I think 2 weapons that are severely underused and underrated just because of the operators they're on would be the fucking, what's it called? The AK-12 on Fuse for the attacker.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a nasty gun. It's just on fucking Fuse.
Yep.
And then on defense,
well, you're not gonna see the AK-12 because it's Russian.
doesn't matter.
No, I'm saying that like, well, actually, hold on. So overall, they used Nook with the FMG9. The only other person that has the FMG9 is Smoke, but Smoke is also in the Europes.
Yeah, he's
and
SAS.
Nook is from Nook is from Ireland. So or no. What's for Denmark? Excuse me. Apologies. The Irish is the next guy. So we got that. So they're kind of in like the same sub series, I guess you could say. So that makes sense. So it would have to be someone from like the CIS region.
Not necessarily. Like Finka is technically Russian, but like it's CBRN, which doesn't even have a country, and she has Russian optics on her weapons.
Yeah, but we already know what the operators are going to be for this year. That's what I'm saying. Like nationality wise, that's general. That's public knowledge.
Yeah, I know.
So there's nobody that's going to have that, sadly.
Well, I mean, you could just do the AK without a Russian optic.
You could. You absolutely could.
There you go. I like to see the AK-12. And then on defense, I don't think it's underused or anything. I just think it's underrated because the operator doesn't get played a whole lot in like competitive. The MX4 Storm, the SMG on Alibi.
I fucking love that. You and I both love that gun though.
Yeah.
Alibi is so much fun to play.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So
I love her so much.
I think those would be fun guns to be reused. If we had to go like really into the fucking deep end, I mean, MP5K on mute wouldn't be a bad reuse. M870 as a shotgun option wouldn't be a bad reuse. What else? AR-33 from Thatcher wouldn't be a bad reuse.
Yeah, that's actually a really good rifle. It's outshined by the L85.
Yeah. How about we do... I don't know if it would get reused at all, but the Type 89 is still a strong weapon.
I feel like if they made the Type 89 with more bullets.
No, keep it with 20-round mag. Could do... They already reused the Vector, which is Mirror's primary, so they clearly don't have any problems with using primaries. They reuse the TCSG, the FMG9, the MPX, P90. P90 would be a good reuse. Yeah, I'd say MX4, MP5K, P90 on defense, and then on the attacking side, like AR-33, AK-12. If I had to throw one more in there, the Para from Capitao.
Oh, the Para's so good, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so good. The 5.52 Commando would be a good one as well.
Yeah. Or the AUG, if they fix the alignment on it.
Oh, yeah. The AUG is so good.
Yep. Yeah.
So I have black ice on the AUG because this game hates me and loves to give me black ice on weapons that I don't really use.
That's tough, dude.
The only good black ice I have in this entire game, Flim, is the M590.
Oh, really? I have so many black ice skins.
I don't. This fucking game hates me, dude.
My
I have the legendary skin though for Alloy's MX4 Storm. They're fucking like weirdly like gothic looking one.
yeah. So
Yeah.
every single gun you can take on Ash, I have black eyes for.
Fuck you in your mouth with a rubber dick.
G36, R4C,
Shut the fuck
5.7,
up.
and
I don't
M45.
care. Fuck
Black
you.
eyes for all of it. I have black eyes for the AR-33, the P90, the L85, the F2.
Fuck does this game hate me so much? I have it on so many pistols. And you know what's funny? I have it on
What?
so many Russian operators.
Oh, really? Oh, I have
So
black
many.
eyes for the AK-12, the PMM. I don't have it for the GSH.
I have it for the GSH and the PMM.
Well, I mean,
Just shoot me in my fucking face.
I have it for the PMM and the AK-12, so I'm winning. What else do I have black eyes for? I have black eyes for a bunch of shit. I don't have it on the C8 yet, though. I want black eyes for the C8, and then I'll be happy.
I don't have black eyes for that either.
If I had black eyes in the C8, I wouldn't know what to run. I have too many good skins for the C8 and for the Type. Holy shit, I'm trying to pick like skins every day for like the Type 89, and I just have too many good ones, man. I have the Legendary that's not from the Elite, the Legendary from the Elite, the FaZe skin, the Nora skin, the Raleigh Major skin, and then that old one that came out with the seasonals back in Red Crow, the Wave one.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, there we go. That's Q&A over with. Good job, everybody. Thank you for all your questions. Much appreciated. This episode has now eclipsed 2 hours and 50 minutes. Jesus fuck. We knew it was going to be a long one. I didn't think it was going to be this long.
Well, we did our best. I mean, I literally had dinner in the process of this. So, like,
good job.
Yep.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to the B-Leaguers podcast. My name is Flynn. I've been joined by Stokes, obviously. You can head to the B-Leaguers. No, you can head to patreon.com/B-Leaguers and give us money. You can head to thecoyostore.com/B-Leaguers and get some free shit. Well, not some free shit, but you can get 5% off your shit.
Yeah.
Discount code is all caps B-Leaguers, 5% off. Kicks back to you, kicks back to us. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening. Next episode,
I fly to Poland next Saturday, so maybe next Sunday again.
Next Sunday, I have the recap show for Canadian Nationals during the day, and then I fly out next Monday, so that might be a little tricky for me, but I'll see if I can make it work for next Sunday. If not, maybe a Tuesday episode. We'll see.
Yeah, that works for me, dude. I mean, fuck it, whatever. So
right.
Again, guys, code B-Leaguers on Koyo Store, as well as patreon.com/B-Leaguers. Make sure you guys get in there if you guys want to support us. We know you guys have been fucking itching and begging to give us money for some fucking reason, because for some fucking reason you enjoy this show. So we love you guys all. Have a good fucking night. Go Bears. Fuck the Eagles. And that's all I got to say.
Good night, guys.